any parcel which, on arrival at the office of destination, is to be delivered to the place of address by special messenger, or which, in those countries whose administrations do not undertake delivery to the place of address, gives rise to the delivery by special messenger of an advice of arrival. Nevertheless, if the address of the addressee is situated outside the local delivery area of the office of destination, delivery by special messenger is not obligatory. 4. The exchange of insured, free of charges, cash on delivery, fragile, cumbersome, air, urgent, and expresses parcels requires prior agreement between the administrations of origin and destination. 5. In addition, for the exchange of insured parcels conveyed à découvert, urgent, fragile, and cumbersome parcels, the intermediate administrations must signify their agreement to the transit routing. Article 3. Weight steps. The parcels defined in Article 2 are classed in the following weight steps: up to 1 kilogram, above 1 up to 3 kilograms, above 3 up to 5 kilograms, above 5 up to 10 kilograms, above 10 up to 15 kilograms, above 15 up to 20 kilograms. Part 1. Charges and fees. Article 4. Composition of the charges and fees. The charges and fees which administrations are authorized to collect are made up of the principal charge as defined in Article 5 and, where appropriate, by A, the rates mentioned in Article 12, or in the final protocol; B, the supplementary charges mentioned in Articles 13 to 19; C, the charges and fees mentioned in Articles 36, 6, and 42; D, the fees mentioned in Article 20. 118 United Nations, Treaty Series, 1967. Chapter 1. Principal charge and exceptional rate. Article 5. Principal charge. The principal charge consists of the rates due to each administration sharing in the land or sea conveyance, and which are provided for in Articles 6 to 9. It also includes, as appropriate, the air surcharges mentioned in Article 10. Article 6. Land rate. 1. Parcels exchanged between two administrations are subject to the outward and inward land rates shown in the table appearing in 4. 2. Each of the countries crossed or whose services assist in the land conveyance of parcels is authorized to collect the transit land rate mentioned in the table which appears in 4. 3. The rates mentioned in 1 and 2 are payable by the administration of the country of origin, unless provisions of the present agreement create exceptions to this principle. 4. Each outward, inward, or transit land rate is fixed as follows for each country and each parcel. Up to kg. A above 1 up to kkg. A above 10 up to 15 kilograms. Above 15 up to 2 kg. Weight steps. 1. Outward and inward land rate. 2. FR, CFIN, SNI, 3, 4. Transit land rate. 3. FRC, 50 FF, 1.30, 1.90, 2.50, 5. Nevertheless, as regards the last 2 weight steps, the administrations of origin and destination have the right to fix as they wish the land rates due to them. As regards air parcels, the land rate for intermediate countries is only applicable where the parcel is conveyed by an intermediate land service. Article 7. Reduction or increase of the land rate. 1. Administrations have the option of reducing or increasing simultaneously their outward land rate and their inward land rate, but not, consequently, their transit land rate. 2. To be applicable, any such modification or subsequent modifications must: A. Come into force only on the 1st January or the 1st of July, at the convenience of each administration. B. Be communicated at least 3 months in advance to the Swiss Postal Administration. Any modifications for which these periods have not been observed will not be taken into consideration until the 1 stone, January or the 1st July following. C. Be communicated to administrations concerned at least a month before the dates fixed in A. D. Remain in force for 1 year at least. 3. The increase, where applied, must not exceed, in the case of the weight steps up to 10 kilograms, 1/2 of the outward and inward land rate laid down in Article 6, 4. The reduction may be fixed at the wish of the administrations concerned. Article 8. Sea rate. 1. Each of the countries whose services participate in the sea conveyance of parcels is authorized to reclaim the SSE rates mentioned in the table shown in 2. These rates are payable by the administration of the country of origin, unless provisions of the present agreement create exceptions to this principle. 2. For each sea conveyance used, the sea rate is calculated in accordance with the following table. Distance steps, A, expressed in nautical miles. Weight steps. Above, 1, up to 500 nautical miles. Beyond 500, up to 1,000. Beyond 1,000, up to 2,000. Beyond 2,000. Each 1,000 or fraction of 1,000 thereafter. B, expressed in kilometers. After conversion on the basis of 1 nautical mile, 1.825 kilometers. 2, up to I kg above 1 kg up to 3 kg, above 3 kilograms, 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms, 15 kilograms, up to 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms, 15 kilograms, 20 kilograms. 3.8, up to 926 kilometers. Beyond 926 up to 1,852. Beyond 1,852 up to 3,704. Beyond 3,704, F or C minus 15 FR, C, far C, far C, far C, far C, 20 to 25, 50 to 75. Minus 25 less than 30, 40, 40. 75, 1.10, 1.60. 50 to 60, 1.10, 1.60, 202, 5. Each 1,852 or fraction of 1,852 thereafter. 10 to 15, 20, 35. 52 or, if necessary, the distance steps used to determine the amount of serate applicable between two countries are calculated on a basis of a weighted average distance, determined in terms of the tonnage of the mails carried between the respective ports of the two countries. 4. Sea conveyance between two ports of the same country does not give rise to the collection of the rate referred to in 2 when the administration of that country already receives, for the same parcels, payment in respective land. Conveyance. 5. As regards air parcels, the sea rate for intermediate administrations or services is only applicable where the parcel is conveyed by intermediate sea. Service. For this purpose, every sea service provided by the country of origin or destination is regarded as an intermediate service. United Nations, T Treaty Series 1967. Article 9. Reduction or increase of the sea rate. 1. Administrations have the option of increasing by 50% at most the sea rate laid down in Article 8, 2. On the other hand, they may reduce it as they wish. 2. This option is subject to the conditions laid down in Article 7, 2. 3. In the case of an increase, this must also be applied to parcels originating in the country to which the services affecting the sea conveyance belong. Nevertheless, this obligation does not apply either in the relations between a country and its colonies, overseas territories, etc., or in the reciprocal relations of those colonies, overseas territories, etc. Article 10. Air surcharges. 1. Administrations fix the air surcharges to be collected for the transmission of parcels by air. For the purpose of fixing surcharges, they may adopt units of weight which are less than the first weight step. 2. Surcharges should be uniform for the whole of the territory of the same country of destination, irrespective of the routing used. Consequently, if two countries are linked by several airlines, the surcharge is fixed according to the average distance between the respective airports and the importance of the lines as regards the international traffic. 3. Surcharges should be closely related to conveyance charges, and, as a general rule, their proceeds should not, overall, exceed the costs payable for such conveyance. Article 11. Basic rates and calculation of payments for air conveyance. 1. The basic rate applicable to the accounting between administrations and respective air conveyances is fixed at 1,000th of a franc. As a maximum per kilogram of gross weight and per kilometer, this rate is applied proportionately to fractions of a kilogram. 2. Payments of air conveyance pertaining to air parcel mails are calculated according to the effective basic rate specified in 1 and the kilometric distances mentioned in the list of airmail distances referred to in Article 203, 1 billion of the detailed regulations of the Convention on the one hand, and according to the gross weight of the mails on the other hand. 3. The payment of air conveyance due to the intermediate administration for découvert air parcels is fixed in principle as indicated in 1, but per kilogram or per half kilogram for each country of destination. If two countries are linked by several airlines, the payment is established by the intermediate administration according to the average distance between the respective airports and according to the importance of the lines in respect of international traffic. As regards the calculation of the sums to be paid, fractions of the unit of weight adopted in this connection by the intermediate administration are rounded upwards to the kilogram or the half kilogram, as is the case. 1967 Nations Unies, Recueil des Traces 121. 4. Any country which within its own territory forwards or reforwards air parcels by air is entitled to a special payment for that transmission. 5. The special payment referred to in 4 is fixed in the form of a single rate, calculated for all air parcels originating in or addressed to the country, on the basis of the rate provided for in 1, and according to the weighted average of the sector distances covered by air parcels of the international service on the internal air network. 6. The transshipment at the same airport in the course of transmission of air parcels conveyed successively by several separate air services is performed without remuneration. 7. No transit land rate is due for A. The transfer of air mails between two airports serving the same town. B. The transport of such mails between an airport serving a town and a warehouse situated in the same town, and the return of the same mails for their reforwarding. 8. When air parcels are lost or destroyed on an airline as a result of an accident met by the carrying aircraft, or for any other reason for which responsibility falls on the air transport organization. No remuneration for air transport is payable in respect of the lost or destroyed air parcels for any part whatever of the airline journey. Article 12. Exceptional outward and inward rate. Subject to compliance with the conditions laid down in Article 7, 2. Each administration has the option of applying simultaneously to every parcel sent from or addressed to its offices an exceptional outward and inward rate of 25 centimes at the maximum. Chapter 2nd. Supplementary charges and fees. Section I. Charges relating to certain categories of parcels. Article 13. Parcels urgent. 1. Urgent parcels are subject to a principal charge double that applicable to ordinary parcels. Where appropriate, the exceptional outward and inward rate provided for in Article 12 is also doubled. 2. Urgent air parcels are subject to a single air surcharge, i.e., not doubled. Article 14. Express parcels. 1. Express parcels are subject to a supplementary charge called the express charge, collected in favor of the administration of destination and of the fixed amount of 80 centimes. Fully paid in advance at the time of posting, even if the parcel cannot be delivered by special messenger but only the advice of arrival. 2. In the exceptional case where the address of the addressee is situated outside the local delivery area of the office of destination, the express charge may be increased by a charge called the additional express charge, which is collected on delivery and remains payable even if the parcel is returned to origin or redirected. This additional charge must not exceed that fixed in the internal service of the country of destination. Article 15. Parcels for delivery free of charges and fees. 1. Parcels for delivery free of charges and fees are subject to a charge called charge for delivery free of charges of the fixed maximum amount of 60 centimes for each parcel. This charge is added to the customs clearance charge referred to in Article 19b. It is collected as commission from the sender in favor of the administration of destination. 2. When delivery free of charges is requested after the parcel has been posted, a charge for a request for delivery free of charges is collected from the sender at the time the request is made. This charge of fixed maximum amount of 60 centimes is added to the air surcharge or to the charge for the telegram if the sender has asked that his request should be sent by air or by telegraph. Article 16. Insured parcels. 1. Insured parcels are subject to an ordinary insurance fee, which is collected by the Office of Posting. This fee is added to the charges and fees authorized in this part of the agreement and is calculated in accordance with one or other of the following formulae. A first formula for each 200 francs or fraction of 200 francs of insured value. 5 centimes for each. Administration par. Participating in the land conveyance 10 centimes for each sea service, used 10 centimes for each air service, used 50 centimes at most. B. Second formula for each 200 francs or fraction of 200 francs of insured value. 2. In addition, the collection of the following charges is authorized. A. By administrations which undertake to cover the risks arising from causes beyond control. A fee for risks from causes beyond control to be fixed so that the sum of this fee and the normal insurance fee does not exceed the maximum prescribed in 1 billion. B. Optionally, by the administration of origin, a dispatch charge equal, at most, to 50 centimes for each insured parcel. 3. Exceptionally, the air insurance fee collected in respect of conveyance by air services which involve extraordinary risks is fixed. In each individual case by the administration concerned, the aggregate fee referred to in 1 billion may then be increased accordingly. Article 17. Fragile parcels, cumbersome parcels. Fragile parcels and cumbersome parcels are subject to a supplementary charge equal to 50% of the principal charge increased, where appropriate, by the rates mentioned in Article 12 or in the final protocol. If the parcel is fragile and bulky, the supplementary tax mentioned above is collected once only. Nevertheless, the air surcharge in respect of these parcels must not be increased. If need be, the total charge is rounded up to the next 5 centimes. Section 2nd. Charges and fees relating to all categories of parcels. Article 18. Supplementary charges. Administrations are authorized to collect the following supplementary charges. A. Charge for export customs formalities collected by the administra. Son of origin for submission to customs. As a general rule, the charge is collected at the time of posting of the parcel. B. Customs clearance charge collected by the administration of destination, either for submission to customs and customs clearance or for submission to customs only, in the absence of other arrangements. The charge is collected at the time of the delivery of the parcel to the addressee, however, in the case of parcels for delivery free of charges. The customs clearance charge is collected by the administration of origin on behalf of the administration of destination. C. Delivery charge. This charge may be collected by the administration of destination as often as the parcel is tendered for delivery at the address. Nevertheless, in the case of express parcels, it may be collected only in respect of each tender for delivery after the first D. Advice of non-delivery charge, collected under the conditions laid down in Article 32, 3, E. Advice of arrival charge, collected by the administration of Destina. C. On when its legislation obliges it to do so, and when that administration does not undertake delivery to the place of address. In respect of every advice, the first as well as subsequent advices, which is in fact delivered to the address of the addressee, except for the first advice of express parcels. In charge, due to the administration of the first of the countries in whose territory a parcel has to be repacked in order to protect its contents, it is recovered from the addressee or, where appropriate, the sender. Je poste restante charge, collected by the administration of destination at the time of delivery on every parcel addressed post restant. H. Storage charge, collected by the administration of destination on every parcel which has not been taken possession of within the prescribed periods. Whether the parcel is addressed post restante or to a place of address. Z. Advice of delivery charge. When the sender asks for an advice of delivery under the conditions laid down in Article 37 of the Convention. J. Advice of embarkation charge, collected in relations between countries whose administrations agree to provide this service when the sender requests that an advice of embarkation be sent to him. This charge is halved between the administration of origin and the administration of the country of the port of embarkation. K. Inquiry charge, mentioned in Article 43. 4. Charge for a request for withdrawal from the post or alteration of address, NI charge for cover against risks arising from circumstances beyond control, collected by administrations prepared to cover risks arising from causes beyond control. Article 19. Scale. The scale of supplementary charges defined in Article 18 is fixed in accordance with the following table. Description of charge. 1. Amount. 2. Observations. 3. A. Charge customs, collected country of origin. B. Customs clearance. Charge collected by the country of destination. For export, formalities by the C. Delivery charge. D. Advice of non-delivery charge. E. Advice of arrival charge, at most, a charge equal to that for an ordinary letter. Of the first wait step in the internal service. 50 centimes at most per parcel, 1 franc at most per parcel, same charge as in internal service, 40 centimes at most, with a maximum of 60 centimes per parcel. When the advice of non-delivery must be sent to him by air, the sender or third party pays the corresponding air surcharge. If, later on, new instructions must be transmitted by air or by telegraph, the sender or the third party must pay, in addition, the charge in respect of air conveyance or the telegraphic charge, as the case may be. Description of charge. 1. Amount. 2. Observations. 3. Repacking charge. Je poste restante charge, a storage charge. F. Advice of charge delivery. By advice of embarkation. Charge. K. Inquiry charge. For a request for withdrawal from the post or alteration of address. Charge cover against risk due to force majeure, circumstance beyond control. 51 centimes at most per parcel. Assume charge, as in the internal service, charge collected at the rate laid down by internal legislation. A. At the time of posting, 40 centimes at most. B. After posting, 60 centimes at most. 40 centimes for each parcel, 60 centimes at most, 60 centimes at most. Amount laid down in Article 16. 2. A. In respect of insured parcels. B. Maximum of 40 centimes per parcel in respect of uninsured parcels. This charge may be levied once, only in the course of transmission from beginning to end, with a maximum of 10 francs. If the sender is asked that advice of receipt should be sent to him by airmail, the air surcharge is added to this charge. When this request has been sent by airmail or by telegraph, the sender must also pay relative airmail or telegraph charge, as the case may be. Also, if the sender has asked that advice of receipt should be sent to him by airmail, the corresponding air surcharge must be paid. If the sender has asked that his request should be sent by air or by telegraph, the air surcharge, or the charge for the telegram, is added to this charge. When the request is sent by post, air, or surface, and in every case if an insured parcel is concerned, the fee for registration must be paid in addition. Article 20 charges. 1. Administrations of destinations are authorized to collect from the addressees all charges, especially customs duty, to which the items are subjected in the country of destination. 2. Administrations undertake to use their good offices with the competent authorities in their countries, with a view to the cancellation of the charges, including customs duty, in the case of parcel. A. Returned to origin. B. Abandoned by the sender. C. Destroyed because of total damage of the contents. D. Redirected to a third country. E. Lost, tampered with, or damaged in their service. Section 3. Free postage. Article 21. Service parcels. Parcels relating to the postal service exchanged by surface only are exempt from all postal charges under the conditions laid down in Article 23 of the Convention. Article 22. Parcels for prisoners of war and internees. Prisoner of war and internee parcels enjoy, under the same conditions, the exemptions from charges accorded to postal items by Article 8 of the Convention, and do not give rise to any remuneration in favor of any administration whatsoever, except as regards the air surcharges applicable to air parcels. Part 2. Operation of the service. Chapter 1. Conditions of admission. Section 9. General conditions of admission. Article 23. Conditions of acceptance. Provided that the contents do not come within the prohibitions listed in Article 24, or within the prohibitions or restrictions applicable in the territory of one or more of the administrations called upon to take part in the transmission, every parcel to be admitted to the post shall. 1967 Nations Unis, Regie de Traites 127. A belong to one of the categories of parcels admitted by application of. Article 2. B. Satisfy the conditions of weight and size fixed by Articles 1 and 25. C. Be prepaid in respect of all the charges required by the Office of Origin. Article 24. Prohibitions. The forwarding of the following articles is prohibited. A. In all categories of parcels. Articles which, by their nature or their packing, may expose officials to danger or soil or damage other parcels. See also opium, morphine, cocaine, and other narcotics. However, this prohibition does not apply to consignments sent for a medical or scientific purpose to countries which admit them on this condition. Articles of leach. The importation or circulation is prohibited in the country of destination. IV documents having the character of current and personal chorus. Pendants as well as correspondence of any kind bearing an address other than that of the addressee of the parcel or of persons living with him. However, it is permissible to include one of the following documents, unclosed, reduced to its essential elements, and relating solely to the goods being conveyed. Invoice, dispatch note or advice, delivery bill, v. living animate, unless their conveyance by post is authorized by the postal regulations of the countries concerned. Vi. explosive, inflammable, or other dangerous substances. Nevertheless, administrations may agree to the conveyance of firing caps and loaded metal cartridges for portable firearms, non-explosive parts of artillery fuses and matches, inflammable films, raw celluloid or articles made of celluloid, 7. Obscene or immoral articles, b. in uninsured parcels exchanged between two countries which admit. Insured parcels, coin, banknotes, currency notes, securities of any kind payable to bearer, platinum, gold or silver, manufactured or not, precious stones, jewels, and other valuable articles. This provision does not apply when the exchange of parcels between two administrations admitting insured parcels can only be made in transit through the intermediary of an administration which does not admit them. Every administration has the right to prohibit the enclosure of gold bullion in insured or uninsured items originating from or addressed to its territory, or sent in transit à découvert across its territory, or to limit the actual value of these items. Article 25. Limits of size and volume. 1. Except where parcels are considered as cumbersome by application Article 2, Lieutenant. Any parcel sent by surface must not exceed 1.5000 meters for any one dimension, 3 meters for the sum of the length, and the greatest circumference measured in a direction other than that of the length. 2. Optionally and in derogation of the provision of 1, the limits of size and volume of parcels sent by a sea service may be fixed at 1.25 meters for any one dimension, and one of the following volumes. 60 cubic decimeters for parcels up to 5 kg, 80 cubic decimeters for parcels over and up to kg, 100 cubic decimeters for parcels over 10 and up to 15 kilograms. 120 cubic decimeters for parcels over 15 and up to 20 kilograms. 3. Subject to 1, any air parcel must not exceed the following sizes. 1 meter for the length and 50 centimeters for every other dimension, 3 meters for the sum of the length and the greatest circumference measured in a direction other than that of the length. 4. Whatever the mode of conveyance, any parcel must not be smaller than the minimum size prescribed for letters in Article 16, 1 of the Convention. 5. To be admitted in the service between administrations adopting the limits prescribed in 2 and not allowing the conveyance of cumbersome parcels, which for their weight have a volume larger than the prescribed limits, are subject to the charges applicable to the weight step corresponding to their volume. In this case, the parcels shall not exceed the maximum limits of volume allowed in the service between these administrations. Article 26. Treatment of parcels wrongly accepted. 1. When parcels containing the articles listed in Article 24A have been wrongly accepted for transmission, they are to be dealt with in accordance with the internal legislation of the country of the administration establishing the presence. Nevertheless, parcels containing the articles referred to in the same article under a 2, v, and 7 are in no circumstances forwarded to their destination, delivered to the addressees, or returned to origin. 2. If it is a question of the inclusion of a single item of correspondence prohibited within the meaning of Article 24A IV, this correspondence is treated in the manner prescribed in Article 22 of the Convention, and the parcel must not be returned to origin on this account. 3. When uninsured parcels exchanged between two countries which admit insurance contain articles listed in Article 24B, they should be returned to origin by the transit administration, which discovers the error. If the error is discovered only after the receipt of the parcel by the administration of destination, that administration is authorized to deliver the parcel to the addressee under the conditions laid down by its regulations. If they do not permit delivery, the parcel must be returned to origin in application of Article 38. 4. 3 is applicable to parcels of which the weight or the dimensions appreciably exceed the permitted limits. Nevertheless, these parcels may, where appropriate, be delivered to the addressee if he has first paid any charges which may be due. 5. When a parcel wrongly admitted is neither delivered to the addressee nor returned to origin, the administration of origin must be informed exactly how the parcel has been dealt with. Article 27. Sender's instructions at the time of posting. 1. At the time of posting of a parcel, the sender is required to indicate the treatment to be given in case of non-delivery. 2. One of the following instructions only may be given. A. Dispatch by surface or air mail of an advice of non-delivery to the sender. B. Dispatch by surface or air mail of an advice of non-delivery to a third party residing in the country of destination. So return forthwith to the sender by surface or air. To return to the sender by surface or air at the end of a given period. A delivery to an alternative addressee if necessary after redirection by surface or air, and subject to the special provisions set out in Article 32, 1 Celsius 2. Of the parcel by surface or air with a view to delivery to the original addressee. G. Sale of the parcel at entire risk of the sender. H. Abandonment of the parcel by the sender. Section 2. Special conditions of admission. Article 28. Insured parcels. 1. The following rules govern the insured value of insured parcels. A. As regard postal administrations. I. The option of each administration to limit the insured value, so far as it is concerned, to an amount which must not be less than 1,000 francs. 2. The obligation in the service between countries whose administrations have adopted different limits on all parties to observe the lowest limit. B. As regards senders. I. The prohibition against insuring the parcel for a value exceeding the actual value of its contents. 2. The option to insure part only of the actual value of the contents of the parcel. 2. Fraudulent insurance for a value greater than the actual value of the parcel is liable to the legal proceedings prescribed by the legislation of the country of origin. 3. A receipt shall be handed over free of charge to every sender of an insured parcel at the time of posting. Article 29. Parcel for delivery free of charges. 1. A parcel for delivery free of charges may be accepted only if the sender undertakes to pay the full amount which the office of destination would be entitled to claim from the addressee as well as the charge for delivery, free of charges prescribed in Article 15. 2. The office of origin may require the payment of sufficient deposit. Chapter 2nd. Conditions of delivery and redirection. Section 9. Delivery. Article 30. General rules for delivery. Periods of retention. 1. As a general rule, parcels are delivered to the addressees as soon as possible and in accordance with the provisions in force in the country of destination. 2. Every parcel of which the arrival has been notified to the addressee is held at his disposal for a fortnight, or at most for a month from the day after that on which the advice is sent. Exceptionally, this period may be extended if the regulations of the administration of destination permit. 3. When it has not been possible to send an advice of arrival, the period of retention is that prescribed by the regulations of the country of destination. This period, applicable also to parcels addressed post restante, must not, as a general rule, exceed 5 months for distant countries within the meaning of Article 107 of the detailed regulations of the Convention. And 3 months for others. Return of the parcel to the office of origin should take place within a shorter period if the sender has requested it in a language known in the country of destination. 4. The periods of retention prescribed in 2 and 3 are applicable, in the case of redirection, to parcels to be delivered by the new office of destination. Article 31. Delivery of express parcels. 1. The delivery by special messenger of an express parcel or of the advice of arrival is attempted once only. 2. If the attempt is unsuccessful, the parcel ceases to be considered as express. Article 32. Non-delivery to the addressee. 1. After receipt of the advice of non-delivery mentioned in Article 27, 2A and B, it rests with the sender or the third party concerned to give his instructions, which may only be those authorized by the said Article 2 Celsius to Z, and, in addition, one of the following. A. Notify the addressee once more. B. Correct or complete the address. C. Where cash on delivery parcel is concerned. I. Deliver it to a person other than the addressee against payment of the amount indicated. 2. Deliver it to the original addressee or to another addressee without collecting the trade charge or against payment of a sum less than the original sum. D. Deliver the parcel free of charges either to the original addressee or to another addressee. 2. Provided that no instructions have been received from the sender or third party, the administration of destination is authorized to deliver the parcel to the addressee originally indicated or, where appropriate, to another addressee indicated later, or to redirect the parcel to a fresh address. After receipt of fresh instructions, these alone are valid and to be carried out. They may be sent by air or by telegraph if the sender or the third party pays the corresponding air surcharge or telegraphic charge. 3. When an advice of non-delivery has been sent to the sender by air in accordance with his instructions, the administration of origin collects, at the time of delivery of the advice, the charge in respect of air conveyance. The sending of the instructions mentioned in 1 gives rise to the collection, either from the sender or from the third party, of the charge mentioned in Article 18d. When the advice relates to several parcels posted at the same time at the same office by the same sender and addressed to the same addressee, the charge is collected once only. Article 33. Return to origin of parcels not delivered. 1. Every parcel which it has not been possible to deliver is returned to the office of origin. A. Immediately, if I. The sender has requested it in application of Article 27, C2. The sender or the third party referred to in Article 27, 2 billions has made an unauthorized request. The sender or the third party refuses to pay the charge authorized in Article 32, 3. A. The instructions of the sender or of the third party have not. Achieved the desired result, whether these instructions were given at the time of posting or after receipt of the advice of non-delivery. B. Immediately after the termination. I. Of the period, if any, fixed by the sender in application of Article 27, 2 less than 0. IA. Of the periods of retention laid down in Article 30 if the sender has not complied with Article 27. Of a period of 2 months from the dispatch of an advice of non-delivery if the office which prepared that advice has not received adequate instructions from the sender or the third party, or if these instructions have not been received by that office, this period is extended to 4 months in the service between distant countries. 2. Where possible, a parcel is returned by the same route as it followed on the outward journey, nevertheless. An air parcel is not returned by air unless the sender has guaranteed the payment of the charges for any conveyance. 3. Every parcel returned to origin under this article is subject to A. The charges entailed in the further transmission to the office of origin. B. The charges and fees not cancelled, which the administration of destination incurs at the time of return to origin. 4. These charges and fees are collected from the sender. Article 34. Abandonment by the sender of an undelivered parcel. If the sender has abandoned a parcel which it has not been possible to deliver to the addressee, that parcel is treated by the administration of Destinación according to its own legislation. Article 35. Recovery of costs from the sender of an undelivered parcel. 1. The sender of a parcel which has not been delivered to the addressee has to pay the conveyance and other costs incurred by administrations as a result of the non-delivery, even if the parcel has been abandoned, sold, or destroyed. 2. The Office of Posting may, whenever it seems advisable, collect a deposit to cover these costs. Section 2. Redirection. Article 36. Redirection in consequence of change of address by the addressee or of an alteration of an address. 1. Redirection in consequence of a change of address by the addressee or of an alteration of address effected under Article 42 may take place either within the country of destination or out of that country. 2. Redirection within the country of destination may be effected at the request of the sender, at the request of the addressee, or officially if the regulations of that country permit. 3. Redirection out of the country of destination may be effected only at the request of the sender or of the addressee. In this case, the parcel must comply with the conditions required for the further transmission. 4. Redirection, under the conditions set out above, may also take place by air at the request of the sender or the addressee, provided that payment of the air surcharge in respect of the further transmission is guaranteed. 5. The sender may forbid any redirection. 6. For the first and any subsequent redirection of each parcel, the following may be collected. A. The charges authorized by the internal regulations of the Administración concerned for such redirection. In the case of redirection within the country of destination, B. The charges and fees entailed in the further transmission in the case of redirection out of the country of destination, C. The charges and fees which the former administrations of destination do not agree to cancel. 7. The charges and fees mentioned in 6 are collected from the addressee. 1967 Nations Unies, Región des Traites, 133. Article 37. Parcels arriving out of course and to be redirected. 1. Any parcel arriving out of course as a result of an error on the part of the sender or the dispatching administration is reforwarded to its proper destination by the most direct route used by the administration which has received the parcel. 2. Any air parcel arriving out of course must be reforwarded by air. 3. Any parcel reforwarded by application of the present article is subject to the charges arising from forwarding to its proper destination and to the charges and fees mentioned Article 36, 6 Celsiuses. 4. These charges and fees are collected from the administration responsible for the Office of Exchange which misdirected the parcel. This administration collects them where appropriate from the sender. Article 38. Return to origin of wrongly accepted parcels. 1. Any parcel wrongly accepted and returned to origin is subject to the charges and fees prescribed in Article 33, 3. 2. If the rates and shares of charges which have been attributed to the administration which returns the parcel are insufficient to cover these charges and fees, the outstanding charges are collected from the administration responsible for the error. If the parcel has been wrongly admitted in consequence of an error attributable to the Postal Service, and from the sender, if it has been wrongly admitted in consequence of an error of the sender, or if it falls within one of the prohibitions laid down in Article 24. 3. In the contrary case, the administration which returns the parcel refunds to the first administration charged with reforwarding it to the Office of Origin the rates and shares of charges for which it had been overcredited. Article 39. Return to origin in consequence of the suspension of a service. The return of a parcel to origin in consequence of the suspension of a service is free of charge. The unallocated conveyance charges collected for the outward journey are refunded to the sender. Chapter 2. Special Provisions. Article 40. Non-compliance by an administration with given instructions. When the administration of destination or an intermediate administration has not complied with the instructions given either at the time of posting or subsequently, it must bear the conveyance charges outward and return, and any other charges or fees which have not been cancelled. Nevertheless, the charges paid for the outward journey remain the responsibility of the sender if he declared either at the time of posting or subsequently that in the event of non-delivery he would abandon the parcel or would like it to be sold. Article 41. Parcels containing items whose early deterioration or decay is to be feared. Those articles contained in a parcel of which the early deterioration or decay is to be feared, and those articles only, may be sold immediately, even in course of transmission on either the outgoing or the return journey, without prior notice or legal formality on behalf of the entitled person. If, for any reason whatsoever, sale is impossible, the spoiled or decayed articles are destroyed. Article 42. Withdrawal from the post. Alteration or correction of address. The sender of a parcel may, under the conditions laid down in Article 26 of the Convention, ask for its return to origin or to have its address altered, provided he guarantees payment of the amounts due for any further transmission, under the provisions of Articles 33(3) and 36(6). In the case of telegraphic requests for alteration of the address of insured parcels, the registration charge is due over and above the telegraph charge. Article 43. Inquiries and requests for information. 1. Each administration is bound to accept inquiries and requests for information relating to any parcel posted in the service of another administration. 2. Inquiries are entertained only within a period of a year from the day after that on which the parcel was posted. 3. Requests for information initiated by an administration are in order and must be dealt with, provided only that they reach the administration concerned within a period of 15 months from the date the parcels were posted. Every administration is bound to deal with the requests for information as soon as possible. 4. Unless the sender has paid in full the advice of delivery charge prescribed in Article 18, each inquiry or request for information is subject to the collection of an inquiry charge at the rate laid down in Article 19, K. Inquiries or requests for information are transmitted under the conditions laid down in Article 35(4) of the Convention. 5. If the inquiry or request for information relates to several parcels posted at the same time at the same office by the same sender and addressed to the same addressee and sent by the same route, this charge is only collected once. It is refunded if the inquiry or request for information has been occasioned by a service error. Part 2. Responsibility. Article 44. Principle and extent of the responsibility of postal administrations. 1. Postal administrations are answerable for the loss of, theft from, or damage to parcels, except in the circumstances provided for in Article 45. Their responsibility is binding as much for parcels conveyed à découvert as for those which are forwarded in closed mails. 2. The sender is entitled to an indemnity corresponding, in principle, to the actual amount of the loss, theft, or damage. Indirect loss or loss of profits is not taken into consideration. Nevertheless, this indemnity may in no case exceed, for insured parcels, the amount in gold francs of the insured value. In the case of redirection or return by surface of an insured air parcel, the responsibility is limited, for the second journey, to that which applies to parcels sent by that route. B. For other parcels, the following amounts: 10 francs per parcel up to 1 kilogram, 15 francs per parcel above 1 up to 3 kilograms, 25 francs per parcel above 3 up to 5 kilograms, 40 francs per parcel above 5 up to 10 kilograms, 55 francs per parcel above 10 up to 15 kilograms, 70 francs per parcel above 15 up to 20 kilograms. 3. The indemnity is calculated in accordance with the current price, converted into gold francs, of goods of the same kind at the place and time at which the parcel was accepted for conveyance. Failing the current price, the indemnity is calculated in accordance with the ordinary value of goods, whose value is assessed on the same basis. 4. When an indemnity is due for the loss, total theft, or total damage of a parcel, the sender is also entitled to the repayment of the charges paid with the exception of the insurance fees. The same applies to items refused by the address seized because of their bad condition, if that is attributable to the Postal Service and involves its responsibility. 5. When the loss, total theft, or total damage arises from circumstances beyond control which do not give rise to indemnification, the sender is entitled to the repayment not only of the land and sea rates as well as the air surcharges appropriate to any sector not traversed by the parcel, but also the charges, whatever their nature, relating to a service paid for in advance but not rendered. 6. The indemnity is paid to the addressee when he claims it either after having made reservations in taking delivery of a parcel that has been tampered with or damaged, or if the sender has waived his rights in his favor. Article 45. Non-responsibility of postal administrations. 1. Postal administrations cease to be responsible for parcels which they have delivered either under the conditions prescribed by their internal regulations for items of the same kind or under the conditions laid down in Article 12(3) of the Convention. Responsibility is, however, maintained when, internal regulations permitting, the addressee, or in the case of return to origin the sender, makes reservations on taking delivery of a spoiled or damaged parcel. B. When the addressee, or in the case of return to origin the sender, although having given a proper discharge, states without delay to the administration who delivered the parcel to him that he has found damage and gives proof that the theft or damage did not occur after delivery. 2. Postal administrations are not held responsible. I. For the loss, theft, or damage of parcels. A. In circumstances beyond control. The administration in whose service the loss, theft, or damage took place must decide, according to the legislation of its country, whether this loss, damage, or theft is due to circumstances attributable to a cause beyond control. These circumstances are brought to the knowledge of the administration of the country of origin if the latter requests them. Nevertheless, responsibility still rests with the administration of the dispatching country if it is undertaken to cover risks from causes beyond control. Article 16, 2A. B. When they cannot account for parcels owing to the destruction of official records through a cause beyond control, provided that proof of their responsibility has not been otherwise established. C, when the damage has been caused by the fault or the negligence of the sender, or arises from the nature of the contents of the parcel. D, where it is a question of parcels whose contents fall within the prohibitions specified in Article 24, A2, C, V, V, and Vesin, and B, insofar as these parcels have been confiscated or destroyed by the competent authority on account of their contents. E, where it is a question of parcels which have been fraudulently insured for a sum greater than the actual value of the contents, where the sender has made no inquiry within the period prescribed in Article 43, 2. G, where it is a question of prisoner of war or internee parcels. 2, for parcels seized under the internal legislation of the country of destination. 3, postal administrations accept no responsibility as regards customs declarations, in whatever form they have been made, or for the decisions taken by customs on examination of parcels submitted to customs control. Article 46, responsibility of the sender. 1. The sender of a parcel is responsible within the same limits as administrations themselves for all damage caused to other postal items as a result of the sending of objects not admitted for conveyance or of the non-observance of conditions of admission, provided that there was neither fault nor negligence on the part of administrations or carriers. 2. The acceptance by an office of posting of such a parcel does not relieve the sender of his responsibility. 3. Should the occasion arise, it is up to the administration of origin to take action against the sender. Article 47. Determination of responsibility between postal administrations. 1. Until the contrary is proved, responsibility rests with the postal administration, which, having received the parcel without comment and being provided with all prescribed means of inquiry, cannot prove either delivery to the addressee or, where appropriate, proper transfer to another administration. 2. An intermediate administration, or one of destination, is, until proof to the contrary and subject to 4, relieved of all responsibility. A, when it has observed the prescribed rules relative to the check of mails and parcels and the establishment of irregularities. B, when it can prove that it was not informed of the inquiry until after. The destruction of official records relating to the parcel in question, the period of regular conservation having expired. This reservation does not prejudice the rights of the inquirer. 3. When the loss, theft, or damage occurs in the service of an heir undertaking the administration of the country, which collects the transport charges, reimburses the administration of origin for the indemnity paid to the sender. 4. If the loss, theft, or damage occurs in course of conveyance without it being possible to establish in the territory or in the service of which country this has happened, the administrations concerned bear the loss equally. However, when it is a question of an ordinary damaged parcel, and when the amount of the compensation does not exceed 25 francs, this sum is borne equally by the administration of origin and that of destination, intermediate administrations being excluded. If the theft or damage has been established in the country of destination, or in the case of a return to the sender in the country of origin, it rests with the administration of that country to prove: A, that neither the wrapping nor the fastening of the parcel carried any apparent traces of theft or damage. B, that in the case of an insured parcel, the weight established at the time of posting has not varied. C, that in the case of parcels forwarded in closed receptacles, both the receptacles and their fastenings were intact. When such proof has been made by the administration of destination, or, if appropriate, by the administration of origin, none of the other administrations concerned may repudiate its share of responsibility by arguing that it handed over the parcel without the next administration having made any reservation. 5. In the case of items sent in bulk, in application of Article 51, 2, and 3, none of the administrations concerned may, with the aim of refusing its share of responsibility, argue that the number of parcels found in the mail differs from that advised on the parcel bill. 6. In the case of bulk transmission, the administrations concerned may agree among themselves that the responsibility be shared in the event of loss, theft, or damage of certain categories of parcels, determined by common agreement. 7. As regards insured parcels, the responsibility of one administration as regards other administrations is in no case binding beyond the maximum insured value that it has adopted. 8. When a parcel has been lost, tampered with, or damaged in circumstances beyond control, the administration within whose territorial limits or in whose service is the loss, theft, or damage occurred is not responsible towards the administration of origin unless the two administrations undertake to cover risks resulting from a cause beyond control. 9. Customs and other fees of which it has not been possible to secure cancellation are borne by the administrations responsible for the loss, theft, or damage. 10. The administration which has made the payment of the indemnity takes over the rights, up to the amount of this indemnity, of the person who has received it in any action which may be taken against the addressee, the sender, or third parties. Article 48. Payment of indemnity. 1. Subject to the rights to make a claim on the administration responsible the obligation to pay the indemnity and to refund the charges and fees. Falls either to the administration of origin or, in the case mentioned in Article 44, 6, to the administration of destination. 2. This payment must be made within the soonest possible time, and at the latest within a period of 6 months from the day following the day of inquiry. 3. When the administration responsible for the payment does not undertake to cover risks resulting from causes beyond control, and when at the end of the period prescribed in 2, the question of knowing whether the loss, theft, or damage is due to such causes has not yet been decided on, the settlement of the indemnity may exceptionally be postponed beyond that period. 4. The administration of origin or destination, as the case may be, is authorized to settle with the entitled person at the expense of any of the other administrations sharing in the conveyance which has been duly informed, and has allowed 5 months to pass without settling the matter or without having brought to the notice of the administration of origin or destination, as the case may be, that the loss, theft, or damage would appear to be due to a cause beyond control. Article 49. Reimbursement of the indemnity to the administration having made the payment. 1. The administration responsible for or on whose account the payment is made in accordance with Article 47 is bound to reimburse the Administration having made the payment under Article 48, and which is called the paying administration, the amount of indemnity actually paid to the entitled person. This payment must be made within a period of 4 months from the dispatch of the notification of payment. 2. If the indemnity is to be borne by several administrations in accordance with Article 47, the whole of the indemnity must be paid to the paying administration within the period mentioned in 1 by the first administration, which, having duly received the parcel claimed for, is unable to prove its proper transfer to the corresponding service. It rests with this administration to recover, from the other administration responsible, the share likely to fall to each one of them of the compensation paid to the entitled person. 3. The reimbursement to the creditor administration is made in accordance with the regulations for payment laid down in Article 13 of the Convention. 4. When responsibility has been admitted, as well as in the case provided for in Article 48(4), the amount of the indemnity may also be recovered as a matter of course by means of an account from the administration responsible, either directly or through the intermediary of the first transit administration, which claims credit in its turn from the next administration. The operation being repeated until the sum paid has been debited to the administration responsible. Where appropriate, the provisions of the detailed regulations relating to the drawing up of accounts should be observed. 5. The paying administration may only claim reimbursement of the indemnity from the administration responsible within a period of 1 year, either from the date of dispatch of the notification of the payment or, where appropriate, from the date of expiry of the period prescribed in Article 48(4) of the agreement. 6. The administration whose responsibility is duly proved and which has at first declined to pay the indemnity must assume all additional costs resulting from the unwarranted delay in payment. Article 50. Possible recovery of the indemnity from the sender or from the addressee. 1. If, after payment of the indemnity, a parcel or part of a parcel previously considered as lost is found. The addressee and the sender are informed of the fact, the latter, or, in accordance with Article 44(6), the addressee is further advised that he may take delivery of it within a period of 3 months on repayment of the amount of the indemnity received. If, within this period, the sender or the addressee, as the case may be, does not reclaim the parcel, the same approach is made to the addressee or the sender according to the case. 2. If the sender or the addressee takes delivery of the parcel or of the part of the parcel recovered against reimbursement of the amount of the indemnity, this amount is refunded to the administration or, where appropriate, to the administrations which bore the loss. 3. If the sender and the addressee refuse to take delivery of the parcel, this becomes the property of the administration or, where appropriate, the administrations which bore the loss. 4. When proof of delivery is forthcoming after the period of 5 months specified in Article 48(4), the indemnity paid remains the responsibility of the intermediate administration or administration of destination, if the sum paid cannot for any reason whatever be recovered from the sender. 5. In the case of subsequent discovery of an insured parcel, the contents of which are found to be of a lesser value than the amount of indemnity paid, the sender must reimburse the amount of this indemnity on return of the insured parcel, without prejudice to the consequences arising from fraudulent insurance as mentioned in Article 28(2). Part 4th. Allocation of charges and fees. Article 51. General principles. 1. An allocation of charges to the interested administration is made in principle in respect of each parcel. 2. However, in the case of transmission by closed mails, the administration of origin may agree with the administration of destination, and with any intermediate administrations with a view to allocating sea and land rates in bulk for each weight step, the allocation of other taxes being made per parcel. 3. Also in the case of transmission by direct mails, the administration of origin may agree with the administration of destination, and possibly with the intermediate administrations to credit them with sums calculated per parcel or per kilogram of gross weight of the mails and corresponding either to the land and sea routes only, other taxes being allocated on a per parcel basis, or, alternatively, to the whole of the payments due to them. Part V. Miscellaneous provisions. Article 52. Application of the Convention. The Convention is applicable, where appropriate, by analogy, whenever the present agreement does not specifically apply. Article 53. Conditions for approval of proposals concerning the present agreement and its detailed regulations. 1. To become effective, proposals submitted to Congress and relating to the present agreement and its detailed regulations must be approved by a majority of the member countries present and voting who are parties to the agreement. Half of these member countries represented at Congress must be present at the time of voting. 2. To become effective, proposals introduced between two Congresses and relating to the present agreement and its detailed regulations must obtain a unanimity of the votes if they involve either the addition of new provisions or an amendment of principle of the articles of this agreement, its final protocol or the final article of its detailed regulations be 2/3 of the votes if they involve an amendment of principle. Of the detailed regulations, with the exception of the final article and of its final protocol, see the majority of the votes if they involve I. The interpretation of the provisions of this agreement, its final protocol and its detailed regulations, including the final protocol of the latter, except in the case of a disagreement to be submitted to arbitration, as provided for in Article 32 of the Constitution, E. Editorial amendments to be made to the acts specified in I. 3. When a member country of the Union expresses outside Congress a desire to become a party to this agreement, asking to be allowed to collect exceptional outward and inward rates on a higher scale than that authorized by Article 12. The International Bureau submits the request to all the member countries signatory to the agreement if, within a period of 6 months, more than 1/3 of these member countries do not pronounce against the request, it is considered to be admitted. Article 54. Parcels addressed to or originating in countries not participating in the agreement. 1. The administration of countries participating in this agreement which maintain an exchange of parcels with the administrations of non-participating countries shall allow, in the absence of any opposition on the part of the latter, the administrations of all the participating countries to avail themselves of these services. 1967 Nations Unies, Recueil des Traités 141. 2. For transit by the land, sea and air services of the countries participating in the agreement. Parcels addressed to or originating in a non-participating country are treated in the same way as parcels exchanged between participating countries so far as the amount of the land, sea, and air rates are concerned. The same applies in the case of responsibility each time it is established that the damage occurred in the service of one of the participating countries, and when the indemnity has to be paid in a participating country either to the sender or possibly to the addressee in the case of theft or damage. Part 6, Final Provisions. Article 55, Entry in for force and duration of the agreement. The present agreement shall come into force on the 1st January, 1966, and shall remain in operation until the entry into force of the acts of the next Congress. In witness whereof, the plenipotentiaries of the governments of contracting countries have signed the present agreement in a single copy, which shall lie in the archives of the government of the country in which the seat of the Union is located. A copy of it shall be delivered to each party by the government of the country in which Congress is held. Done at Vienna, the July 10th, 1964. 142 United Nations, Treaty Series 1967. This agreement was signed on behalf of the states and territorial entities listed below by the same plenipotentiaries who signed the Constitution of the Universal Postal Union. For the signatures affixed by those plenipotentiaries under the Constitution, see United Nations Treaty Series, Vol. 611. Afghanistan People's Republic of Albania, Democratic and Popular Republic of Algeria, Germany, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Argentine Republic, Commonwealth of Australia, Republic of Austria, Belgium, Belarusian, Soviet Socialist, Republic Burma, Bolivia, United States of Brazil, People's Republic of Bulgaria, Kingdom of Burundi, Kingdom of Cambodia, Federal Republic of Cameroon, Central African Republic, Ceylon, Chile, China, Republic of Cyprus, Republic of Colombia, Republic of the Congo, Brazzaville, Republic of the Congo, Leopoldville, Republic of Korea, Republic of Costa Rica, Republic of the Ivory Coast, Republic of Cuba, Republic of Dahomey Kingdom of Denmark, Dominican Republic, Republic of El Salvador, Republic of Ecuador, Spain, Spanish territories in Africa, Ethiopia, Republic of Finland, French Republic, the whole of the territories represented by the French Office of Overseas Posts, and Telecommunications Republic of Gabon, Ghana, Nations Unies, Requet de Timits, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the overseas territories for the international relations of which the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is responsible. Greece, Republic of Guatemala, Republic of Guinea, Republic of Upper Volta, Republic of Honduras, People's Republic of Hungary, India, Republic of Indonesia, Iran, Republic of Iraq, Ireland, Republic of Iceland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Hashemite, Kingdom of Jordan, Kuwait, Kingdom of Laos, Republic of Lebanon, Republic of Liberia, Libya, Principality of Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Malagasy, Republic, Republic of Mali, Kingdom of Morocco, United States of Mexico, Principality of Monaco, People's Republic of Mongolia, Nicaragua, Republic of Niger, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Norway, New Zealand, Uganda, Pakistan, Paraguay, Netherlands, Antilles, and Suriname, Republic of Peru, People's Republic of Poland, Portugal, United Arab Republic. United Nations, T-Treaty Series 1967, People's Republic of Romania, Rwandese Republic, Republic of San Marino, Republic of Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia Republic of the Sudan, Sweden, Swiss Confederation, Syrian, Arab Republic, United Republic of Tanganyika, and Zanzibar Republic of Chad, Socialist Republic of Czechoslovakia, Thailand, Togolese Republic, Trinidad, and Tobago, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, Eastern Republic of Uruguay, Vatican City, State Republic of Venezuela, Vietnam, Yemen, Arab Republic, Socialist, Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. 1967 Nations Unies, Requet des Traites 145. Final protocol to the agreement concerning postal parcels. At the moment of proceeding to sign the agreement concerning postal parcels concluded this day, the undersigned plenipotentiaries have agreed the following. Preliminary provisions. Article 1. Operation of the service by transport undertakings. 1. Any country whose postal administration does not at present undertake the conveyance of parcels, and which is a party to the agreement, has the option of arranging for its provisions to be implemented by railway and shipping undertakings. It may, at the same time, limit this service to parcels originating in or addressed to places served by these undertakings. 2. The postal administration of such a country shall make arrangements with the railway and shipping undertakings to ensure the complete implementation by them of all the provisions of the agreement, with special reference to the arrangements for the exchange of parcels. 3. The postal administration acts as intermediary for them in all their relations with administrations of the other contracting countries and with the International Bureau. Article 2. Delivery free of postal and non-postal charges, requested after the posting of a parcel. The following countries which accept the free of postal and non-postal charges postal service do not admit requests for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges after the posting of the parcel. The Commonwealth of Australia, Cyprus, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland, the overseas territories for whose international relations the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland are responsible. Irish Republic, Kuwait, Malaysia, Federal Republic of Nigeria, New Zealand, Uganda, Sierra Leone, United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar, and Trinidad and Tobago. Article 2, Pound avoirdupois. Countries which by reason of their internal regulations are unable to adopt the metric decimal system of weight are permitted the right to substitute for the weight steps provided for in Article 3 of the following equivalents. Up to kg, up to 2 IB over 1 and up to kkg, dot 27 IB over 3 and up to kkg, 7 IB over 5 and UAP to 10 kilograms, 1122 IB. Article 4th Transit. Notwithstanding Article of the Convention, the right not to undertake the conveyance of parcels in transit across their territories for the time being granted to Afghanistan, Iran, and the Portuguese provinces in Africa. Chapter 1. Exceptional rates. Article 5th. Exceptional land rates. For the time being, the administrations listed in tables 1 and 2 below are authorized to collect A. The outward and inward rates indicated in Table 1 in place of the exceptional outward and inward rate authorized in Article 12. B. The transit land rates indicated in Table 2 in addition to the transit rates mentioned in Article 6. 1. Outward and inward rates. No. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Authorized administrations. 2. Afghanistan, Albania Republic, Peoples, Argentine Republic, Australia, Soviet Socialist Republic of Belarusia. Amount per parcel, 3. FRC 1, 50I 1, 75 2, 3, 4. Observations. 4. The rate may be increased to 3. 50 francs for parcels over 5 and up to 10 kilograms. 2. The rate may be increased to 1. 25 francs for parcels coming from and intended for the Argentine offices of Costa del Sur, Tierra del Fuego, Antarctica, and the South Atlantic Islands. The rate may amount to the following. FRC. Parcels up to 1 kg, 45 parcels over and up to kg, 90 parcels over 3 and up to 5 kg, 150 parcels over and up to 10 kilograms. 2. 10 for outward and inward rates for parcels addressed to USSR. In Europe, Asia, FR. Parcels up to 1 kg. 0 parcels over and up to 3 kilograms. 72.2 parcels over 3 and up to 5 kilograms. 1, 3 parcels over 5 and up to 10 kilograms. 2, 6 parcels over 10 and up to 15 kg. 3, 9 parcels over 15 and up to 20 kilograms. 4, 12. Throughout the whole of the territory of the USSR, the same outward and inward rates are enforced for postal parcels. 1. Outward and inward rates quantity. Authorized administration's observations. Number 1, 2. Amount per parcel 3. FRC 6 Burma. 7 Bolivia. 75. 5. 8 Brazil, United States. 2.256. 9 Bulgaria. 50. People's Republic. 10 Cameroon. 7. 11 Central Africa. Republic. 4. 5 parcels up to 1 kilogram. Parcels over 1 and up to 5 increased to 1 franc per parcel addressed to seaports and 1 franc per kilogram or fraction of a kilogram for parcels addressed to other places. 1. Outward and inward rates. 8. No. 1. Outward and inward rates quantity. Parcels over 5 and up to 10 kilograms. 1.60. No. Authorized administrations. Amount. Parcels over 15 up to 20 kilograms. FRC 81.201. Outward and inward rates quantity. Authorized administrations amount number per parcel, which may not exceed the tariff applicable to postal parcels in the internal service. 1. Outward and inward rates quantity. Carriers. 1. Outward and inward rates quantity. Number 1. Authorized administrations. 2. Amount per parcel. 3. FRC. Observation parcels. 68. Uruguay. 75. 69. Venezuela. Republic. 1.25. Transit land rates. No. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 150. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 16, 2, 12, 1, 2.9, 0. 67 nations unis. Regio des Trades. 155. Observations. Only for parcels conveyed by the Transandine Railway. 2. The amounts shown in the table are to be regarded as maxima. 3C. Under Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Throughout the whole of the territory of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the same charges are enforced for postal parcels. 4. For parcels from and for Iran, following the Trebizond-Erzurum Bayezid route. The land rate for each wait stop may be increased by a further 1.50 francs. Article 60 rates. The Commonwealth of Australia, Cyprus, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland. The overseas territories for whose international relations the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland are responsible. Jamaica, Malaysia, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Uganda, Sierra Leone. The United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar and Trinidad and Tobago are authorized to increase by 50% at the most the C rates provided for in Articles 8 and 9, and Kuwait by 100% at the most. Article 7. Supplementary rates. 1. Every parcel originating in or addressed to Corsica is subject. A. To a supplementary land rate equal, at most, to half the land rate applicable to all parcels originating in or addressed to the mainland of France. B. To a supplementary C rate equal to that applicable in France for the first distance step. 2. The following supplementary conveyance rates are authorized for each parcel. On the one hand, BTV Venand, on the other hand, authorizes supplementary rates. 1, 2, 3. The mainland of Spain. J. The Balearic Islands, the Spanish territories in North Africa. B. The Canary Islands. E equal 3. The Portuguese administration has the right to collect a supplementary rate of 1.50 francs per parcel at most for conveyance between the mainland of Portugal and the Madeira and Azores Islands. 4. Every parcel conveyed by the Iraq-Syria Trans-Desert Motor Services gives rise to the collect supplementary rates to which it is entitled. 2. This last option is also granted to countries which accede to the agreement up at the Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. United Nations, T Treaty Series 1967, Part I, Second Operation of the Service. Chapter 1. Conditions of Admission. Article 10, Size and Volume. 1. Greece, Tunisia, and Turkey and Asia have the right for the time being not to admit parcels whose size or volume exceeds the maximum authorized by Article 25, 2 for the sea services. 2. The Commonwealth of Australia and India have the right not to admit parcels whose dimensions exceed the limits prescribed in their internal services. Article 11, Cumbersome Parcels. By application of Article 2 EI, and notwithstanding the limits fixed by Article 25, 1 I, the Republic of Sudan has the right in its relations with other countries to regard as cumbersome parcels of which any expediteur, sale of the parcel at the entire risk of sender. Notwithstanding Article A, B, and G, the Commonwealth of Australia, Ceylon, Cyprus, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the overseas territories for whose international relations the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar, and Trinidad and Tobago have the right to restrict advice of delivery to insured parcels. Part 3, Responsibility. Chapter 1, General Provisions. Article 16th. Exceptions to the principle of responsibility. Notwithstanding Article the Congo, Leopold the Isle, Iraq, Kuwait, and the Republic of Sudan, Volume. Chapter I, Fourth Treatment of Parcels by the Office of Destination. Section 1, Delivery of Forms. Detailed regulations for implementing the agreement. Concerning postal parcels. The undersigned, having regard to Article 22(5) of the Constitution of the Universal Postal Union concluded at Vienna on the July 10, 1964, in the name of their respective postal administrations have, by common consent, drawn up the following measures for ensuring that the agreement concerning postal parcels is implemented. Chapter 1. Preliminary Provisions. Article 101. Information to be supplied by administrations. 1. At least 3 months before implementing the agreement, each administration should notify to the other administrations, through the intermediary of the International Bureau, A. The provisions it has adopted regarding I. The maximum weight, T. The insured value, C. The following special parcels. Urgent, express, delivery free of charges, cash on delivery, fragile, cumbersome. IV. The admissibility or otherwise of collected dispatch notes in accordance with the provisions of Article 106. 2. Y. The size of parcels conveyed by its sea services. Vi. The number of customs declarations required for parcels in transit and for those addressed to its own country, as well as the languages in which those declarations may be completed. B. Information regarding the air parcel service, in particular the size, which it admits by arrangement with the air transport undertakings, and, if the case should arise, the amount of payment collected according to Article 11, 4, and 5 of the agreement, for transport to the interior of the country. C. The list of living animals of which the conveyance by post is authorized by its own postal regulations. D. Intimation as to whether it admits parcels for all localities, or if not, a list of the localities to which the service extends. E. The postal and non-postal charges applicable in its service, the necessary information concerning customs or other regulations, as well as the prohibitions or restrictions applying to the entry and transit of parcels in the territory of its country. 1 United Nations Treaty Series, Vol. 611. Jane Extract, in English, Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, French, or Russian, of provisions of its laws or regulations applicable to the conveyance of parcels. 2. Any amendment to the information referred to in 1 should be notified without delay by the same means. Article 102, Routing and Charges in the form of the Annex, sets out the conditions and charges on which parcels in transit for countries for which it is in a position to act as intermediary. 2. On the basis of the information contained in the tables, CP1 and CP21, of intermediate administrations, each administration decides upon the routes to be used for forwarding its parcels and the charges to be collected from the senders. 3. Administrations send directly to each other, at least 1 month before their application, tables CP1 and CP21, as well as all subsequent amendments to these tables. They send copies of their tables, CP1 and CP21, to the International Bureau. 4. To determine the most favorable route for the dispatch of parcels, the outward Office of Exchange may send to the Office of Exchange of Destination a trial note, C27, in the form referred to in Article 159 of the detailed regulations for implementing the convention. This note should be attached to the parcel bill. It should be returned, duly completed in the form offer letter, to the outward Office of Exchange by the first mail. 1. By means of tables, each administration specimen, CP1 and CP21, it accepts. Chapter 2, Treatment of Parcels by the Office of Origin. Section on General Conditions of Admission and Posting. Article 103. Addresses of the sender and the addressee. 1. Tobe admitted to the post, every parcel must bear in Roman letters on the parcel itself or on a label firmly attached to it the exact addresses of the addressee and the sender. Addresses in pencil are not allowed. Nevertheless, parcels of which the address is written in copying ink pencil on a surface previously damped are accepted. 2. Only one person or corporate body may be designated as addressee. However, addresses such as Mr. A at for Mr. Z at or Bank A at for Mr. Z at may be admitted, it being understood that only the person indicated under A is regarded by administrations as the addressee. In addition, the addresses of A and Z must be in the same country. 3. The Office of Posting should recommend the sender also to put in the parcel a copy of his address and of that of the addressee. Article 104. General Packing Conditions. 1. Every parcel must be packed and closed in a manner befitting the weight and the nature of the contents, as well as the mode of conveyance and its duration. The packing and closing must protect the contents so that these cannot be damaged by pressure or by repeated handlings. They must also be such that it is impossible to tamper with the contents without leaving an obvious trace of violation. 2. Every parcel must be packed particularly securely if it has tobe conveyed over long distances or undergo many transshipments or handlings. 3. It must be packed in such a way as not to endanger the health of officials and to avoid any danger if it contains articles of a kind likely to injure officials called upon to handle it or to soil or damage other parcels. 4. It must have, on the packing or the wrapping, sufficient space for the entry of service instructions and for affixing stamps and labels. 5. The following are accepted without packing. A. Articles which can be fitted together or put and kept together by a strong cord with lead or other seals, so as to form one single parcel which cannot come apart. B. Parcels in one piece, such as pieces of wood, metal, etc. Which it is. Not the custom of the trade to pack. Article 105. Special packing. Indication of parcels containing films, celluloid, and living animals. 1. Every parcel which contains one or other of the following substances must be made up as indicated below. A. Precious metals. The packing must consist either of a stout metal box, a case made of wood, OFA, minimum thickness of 1 centimeter for parcels up to 10 kilograms, and 1 centimeter for parcels over 10 kilograms. Or a seamless double. F. Ethyl. C. Used up. D. Dry coloring powders such as aniline blue. Article 106. Formalities to be complied with by the sender. 1. Each parcel must be accompanied by a dispatch note of strong white cardboard in the form of the annexed specimen CP2 or CP2M. B. A customs declaration in the form of the annexed specimens CP3 or CP3M. The customs declaration should be made out in the required number of copies, these being securely attached to the dispatch note. 2. except in the case of insured parcels, parcels for delivery free of charges, and cash on delivery parcels. The same dispatch note accompanied by the number of customs declarations required for a single parcel may suffice for 3 parcels at most, provided that they are posted simultaneously at the same office by the same sender, sent by the same route, subject to the same charge, and addressed to the same person. Each administration may, however, insist on a dispatch note and the prescribed number of customs declarations for each parcel. 3. The sender may add, on the coupon of the dispatch note CP2, a communication relating to the parcel and attach to the note whatever the specimen, in addition to the customs declaration and the required number of copies. According to the provisions of 1 billion, any document, invoice, export license, import license, certificate of origin, etc., necessary for customs treatment in the DS patching country and in the country of destination. 4. The contents of the parcel must be shown in detail in the customs declaration. Indications of a general kind are not admitted. 1967 Nations Unis, Regia de Traites 167. 5. Although they assume no responsibility for the customs declaration, administrations do their utmost to inform senders of the correct way to complete these declarations. The back of the form CP3 may be used to give instructions to senders. 6. The sender must indicate how the parcel is to be dealt with in the event of non-delivery. For this purpose, a cross must be inserted in the column relating to one of these instructions on the back of the dispatch note, where the instructions given in Article 27. 2 of the agreement are shown. The cross may be made by hand, by machine, or be printed. Moreover, it is permissible for the sender to reproduce or have printed on the back of the dispatch note only one of the authorized instructions. The instruction indicated by the cross on the dispatch note must be reproduced on the parcel itself. It may be completed in French or in a language known in the country of destination. Article 107. Formalities to be complied with by the Office of Origin. 1. The Office of Origin is responsible at the time of posting for fixing or indicating A. On the parcel beside the address and on the dispatch note in the spaces provided, a label in the form of the annexed specimen CP8 indicating clearly the serial number of the parcel and the name of the office of posting. B. On the dispatch note only. I. An impression of the date stamp. T. The weight in kilograms and hundreds of grams each. A fraction of 100 grams being rounded up to the next 100. 2. The same Office of Origin may not use 2 or more series of labels at the same time, unless the series are distinguished by a distinctive mark. Section 2. Special conditions of admission and posting for certain categories of parcels. Article 108. Insured parcels. Every insured parcel is subject to the following special rules regarding makeup. A. It must be sealed by identical wax seals, by lead seals, or by some other effective means, with a special uniform design or mark of the sender. B. The wax or other seals, as well as the labels of any kind, and the postage stamps, if any, affixed to these parcels must be spaced out so that they cannot hide any damage to the packing. The labels and postage stamps must not be folded over 2 sides of the packing so as to cover an edge. Any labels on which the address appears must not be gummed to the packing itself. C. It must be provided, as must the dispatch note, with a red label. The form of the annexed specimen, CP7, and bearing in Roman letters the letter V, the name of the Office of Origin, and the serial number of the parcel. The label must be gummed on the parcel, on the same side as, and near to, the address. Nevertheless, administrations have the option of using at the same time the label CP8 prescribed in Article 107 and a small red label, bearing in bold letters the indication valeur déclarée insured. The insured value must be expressed in the currency of the country of origin and written by the sender on the parcel and the dispatch note in words with Roman lettering and in Arabic figures. Without erasure or alteration, even if certified, the amount of the insured value must not be indicated in pencil. The amount of the insured value must be converted into gold francs by the sender or by the Office of Origin. The result of the conversion rounded up where appropriate to the nearest franc shall be shown in figures at the side of or below those representing the value in the currency of the country of origin. The amount in gold francs shall be underlined by a bold stroke of a colored pencil. Conversion is not carried out in direct services between countries which have a common currency. The Office of Origin is responsible for indicating the exact weight in grams on the parcel beside the address and on the dispatch note in the space provided. Geno's serial number must be placed on the front of insured parcels by the intermediate administrations. Article 109. Fraudulent insurance. When circumstances of any kind, particularly an inquiry, disclose a fraudulent insurance for a value greater than the actual value of the contents of the parcel, the administration of origin is advised as soon as possible, where appropriate, the documents relating to the inquiry are sent to that administration. Article 110. Other categories of parcels. 1. Air parcels. Every air parcel, as well as the dispatch note relating to it, must bear at the time of dispatch a special blue label bearing the words par avion by air mail with, if desired, a translation in the language of the country of origin. 2. Urgent parcels. Every urgent parcel and its dispatch note must be provided with a label bearing very conspicuously the indication urgent. 3. Express parcels. Every express parcel and its dispatch note must be provided with a light red label, printed and bearing very conspicuously the indication express. This label is affixed as closely as possible beside the indication of the place of destination. 4. Parcels for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges. Every parcel for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges and its dispatch note must be provided with a very bold indication, franc de taxes et de droits, free of charges and fees, or any other equivalent expression in the language of the country of origin. U. A yellow label bearing, also very boldly, the indication franc de taxes et de droits. B. It is accompanied by the prescribed customs declarations and by a franking note on yellow paper in the form of the annexed specimen, CP4. The sender of the parcel, and as regards the Postal Service indications, a dispatching office, complete the text of the right-hand side of the front of parts A and B. The entries of the sender may be made with the use of carbon paper. The text must include the undertaking prescribed in Article 29, 1 of the agreement. C. The dispatch note. The customs declarations and the franking note must be securely fastened together. 5. Fragile parcels. A. In the service between countries which admit fragile parcels and without prejudice to compliance with the general rules regarding makeup and packing, every fragile parcel must be provided, either by the sender or by the Office of Origin, with a label featuring a picture of a glass printed in red on a white background. Every parcel, the fragile nature of whose contents is indicated by any external sign whatever, affixed by the sender, must be provided by the Office of Origin with the same label, and the corresponding supplementary charge is collected. If the sender does not wish the parcel to be treated as fragile, the Office of Origin crosses out the marking made by the sender. B. The relative dispatch note must bear very conspicuously on the front the indication, collis fragile parcel, either in manuscript or printed on a label. 6. Cumbersome parcels. Every cumbersome parcel in front of its dispatch note must bear a label showing in bold letters encumbrant, cumbersome. 7. Parcels classed in a higher weight step. The dispatch note of a parcel admitted by virtue of Article 25. 5 of the agreement must bear on the front in bold letters the indication colis classedans la coupure de poids de cage parcelle charged at the weight step UFG, either in manuscript or printed on a label. 8. Service parcels. Every service parcel and its dispatch note must bear, the former on the address side and the latter on the front of the form, the indication service de PSS on postal service or a similar indication. This indication may be followed by a translation in another language. 9. Prisoner of war and internee parcels. Every prisoner of war and internee parcel and its dispatch note must bear, the first beside the address and the second on the front of the form, one of the indications is service de prisonnier de guerre, prisoners of war service, or service des internes, civilian internee service. These indications may be followed by a translation in another language. Parcels containing certain matters or living animals. The parcels as well as the dispatch notes must bear the indications prescribed in Article 105, FG and H. 11. Parcels for which an advice of delivery is requested. A. Every parcel for which the sender requests an advice of delivery at the time of posting must bear very conspicuously either the indication avis de reception, advice of delivery, or the stamp impression, AR. The same applies to the dispatch note. When the advice of delivery has to be returned by air, the indication is to be completed by the words renvoi par avion, return by airmail. B. The parcel must be accompanied by a copy, duly filled up, of the Form C5 referred to in Article 137(2) of the detailed regulations of the Convention. This form is prepared by the Office of Origin or by any other office appointed by the Administration of Origin and must be attached to the dispatch note. C. The indication renvoi par avion, returned by airmail must be entered by the office concerned on an advice of delivery, which is TOB, returned by air. A blue label or impression par avion by airmail is also affixed to this form. 12. Parcels for which an advice of embarkation. Every parcel for which the sender requests an advice of embarkation must be marked by means of an avis d'embarquement, advice of embarkation label affixed to the parcel and to the dispatch note. B. The parcel is accompanied by Form CP6 in the form of the annexed specimen, which must show very clearly the port or the country from which the advice of embarkation is to be returned. Each form may only refer to one parcel, even when more than one parcel is covered by a single dispatch note. Is requested. Section 3. Formalities requested after posting. Article 111. Delivery free of postal and non-postal charges requested after the posting of the parcel. 1. If, after posting, the sender of a parcel requests delivery free of postal and non-postal charges, the Office of Origin informs the Office of Destination by an explanatory note. This latter, bearing a postage stamp representing the charge due, is forwarded as a registered item to the Office of Destination, accompanied by a franking note duly completed. In case of transmission by air, the air surcharge is also prepaid by postage stamps affixed to the explanatory note. The Office of Destination affixes to the parcel, near the address, and also to the dispatch note, the label prescribed in Article 110, 4A2. 2. When the request is to be forwarded by telegraph, the Office of Origin informs the Office of Destination by telegraph, and at the same time advises the relative particulars of the posting of the item. The latter office itself makes out a franking note. Article 112. Request for advice of delivery made after posting. When the request is made after the parcel has been posted, the procedure follows that outlined in Article 138 of the detailed regulations of the Common Shon. However, in countries where the parcel service is not operated by the Postal Administration, the collection of the advice of delivery charge is recorded on the Form C9, either by affixing a special stamp or by indicating the amount of the charge collected. Article 113. Withdrawal from the post. Alteration of address. 1. As a general rule, requests for alteration of address or withdrawal of the parcel from the post are dealt with according to the provisions of Articles 147 and 148 of the detailed regulations of the Convention. 2. Every telegraphic request for alteration off address concerning an insured parcel must be confirmed postally by the first mail. The confirmatory request prepared on Form C7 used for the letter post must bear, underlined in colored pencil, the note, confirmation de la demande telegraphique due, confirmation of the telegraphic request of the, it must be accompanied by the facsimile prescribed in Article 147, 1A of the detailed regulations of the Convention. Chapter 3rd. Treatment of parcels by the Offices of Exchange. Section I. Routing. Article 114. General principles of the exchange of parcels. 1. Each administration is bound to forward by the routes and means that it uses for its own parcels, those parcels transferred to it by another administration to be conveyed in transit across its territory. 2. In the event of the interruption of a route, parcels in transit which were intended to go by that route are forwarded by the best route available. 3. If the latter is more expensive than the normal route, each parcel is subjected by the administration of destination to a charge, to be paid by the addressee, equal to the additional land or sea rates resulting from the change of route. The allocation and recovery of charges is effected according to the provisions of Articles 137, 6 and 148, 2 and 3. 4. Transit must be effected under the conditions fixed by the agreement concerning postal parcels and by its detailed regulations, even when the administration of origin or destination of the parcels has not acceded to the agreement. 5. In the relations between countries separated by one or more intermediate territories, parcels must follow the routes which the administrations concerned have agreed upon. Article 115. Routing and customs clearance of air parcels. 1. Every administration providing the air parcel service is bound to forward by the air routes that it uses for its own items of the kind. Air parcels transferred to it by another administration, if for any reason the forwarding of air parcels by another route offers, in a particular case, advantages over the existing air routes. The air parcels must be forwarded by that route and dealt with, if necessary, as urgent parcels. 2. Air parcel mails must be forwarded by the route requested by the administration of the country of origin, provided that route is used by the administration of the transit country for the transmission of its own mails. If this is not possible, or if there is not sufficient time for the transshipment, the administration of the country of origin shall be informed of this. 3. When for any reason it is not possible to use the international air service for the whole transmission, the administration which receives the air charge provided for in Article 11 of the agreement is bound to forward air parcels over the sector over which that service cannot be used, by the most rapid means it uses for the conveyance of its own parcels and to deal with them if necessary as urgent parcels. This obligation obtains in the event of partial or total interruption of an internal air service. 4. Administrations which do not participate in the air parcel service forward such parcels by the surface routes normally used. For other parcels, however, they are bound to forward by the most rapid surface routes any air parcel bearing the indication urgent, so long as they provide the urgent parcel service and have been credited with the rates attaching to the performance of that service. 5. Administrations take every step to speed up as much as possible the clearance through the customs of air parcels. Transshipment. Article 116 of air parcels. 1. Of special agreement between administrations, the transshipment of air parcels in the conditions prescribed in Article 11. 6 of the agreement is done by the postal administration of the country where the transshipment takes place. 2. This rule does not apply when the transshipment is made between aircraft of two successive lines of the same transport undertaking. In the absence. Article 117. Transmission and customs clearance of urgent parcels. 1. Administrations which participate in the exchange of urgent parcels agree between themselves to ensure the rapid and, as far as possible, direct transmission of these parcels. 2. They take steps to speed up as much as possible the customs clearance of urgent parcels. Article 118 Customs clearance of express parcels. Administrations who participate in the exchange of express parcels take steps to speed up as much as possible the customs clearance. Section 2. Mavjup and dispatch of mails. Article 119. Different methods of transmission. 1. The exchange of dispatches of postal parcels is carried out by offices called offices of exchange. This exchange is effected as a general rule by means of receptacles, bags, baskets, crates, etc. Adjacent administrations may, however, agree to the handing over of certain categories of parcels unenclosed. 3. In the service between non-adjacent countries, the exchange is effected as a general rule by means of closed mails. 4. Administrations may agree to effect exchanges in transit at découvert. However, it is obligatory to make up closed mails if, according to the statement of an intermediate administration, the parcels in transit at découvert are such as to hinder its work. Article 120. Parcel bills. 1. Before dispatch, all the parcels to be forwarded by surface route are entered by the outward office of exchange on a parcel bill in the form of the annex specimen CP 11. For air parcels being sent direct or in transit, a découvert, the offices of exchange use a special parcel bill known as an air parcel bill in the form of the annex specimen CP 20. 2. As regards prisoner of war and internee parcels, only air parcels require a statement of the shares off charges to be credited to the various administrations concerned. The following documents are attached to the parcel bill: dispatch notes, trade charge money order forms, customs declarations, franking notes, advices of delivery, and all other documents which may be required, invoices, certificates of origin, of health, etc. In the services between countries whose administrations have agreed to this, the parcel bill as well as the relative documents are sent by air to the country of destination. 4. For parcels exchanged in closed mails, the administrations of origin and destination may agree in advance for the documents mentioned in 3 to be attached to the parcels to which they refer. 5th, in the absence of any agreement to the contrary, parcel bills are numbered according to an annual series for each outward office of exchange and each inward office of exchange as well as for each route if more than one. Route is used, the last number of the year should be shown on the first parcel bill of the following year. If a mail is cancelled, the dispatching office enters on the parcel bill beside the number of the mail the indication dernier dépêche last mail. In the case of sea and air services, the name of the ship carrying the mail or, where appropriate, the air service used is shown, whenever possible, below TTI serial number. 6. If air parcels are sent from one country to another by surface routes along with other parcels, the presence of the air parcels with an air parcel bill should be shown by an appropriate note on the parcel bill CPU. 7. Where closed mails are exchanged between countries which are not adjacent, the outward office of exchange prepares for each of the intermediate administrations a special parcel bill in the form of the annex specimen CP12. That office inserts thereon the total for each category of parcels of the rates and shares or charges due to the intermediate administration. The parcel bill CP12 is numbered in an annual series for each outward office of exchange, and for each intermediate administration, the last number of the year must be shown on the first parcel bill of the following year. In the case of sea services, parcel bill CP12 must be completed whenever this is possible by the name of the conveyor ship. Article 121. Simplified parcel bills. 1, 2, and 2. When basis of weight steps, the number of parcels for each weight step is entered on the parcel bills with an indication of the product of the multiplication of the corresponding rate by the number of parcels. Redirected parcels are entered individually with an indication in respect of each parcel of the amount of the costs incurred by the parcel during its delivery to the administration to which it is transferred. Parcels giving rise to a supplementary charge as well as parcels forwarded in transit at découvert are also entered individually with an indication of the corresponding charge. 3. When the administration of destination and, if appropriate, the intermediate administrations are to be credited with amounts calculated per parcel, the number of the latter is entered on the parcel bills with an indication of the product of the multiplication of the charge per parcel by the total number of items making up the mail. If the appropriate amount per parcel is exclusive of all charges other than those applicable to parcels which are redirected or forwarded in transit at découvert, only these two categories of parcels, as well as insured parcels, should be the subject of an individual entry, but without an indication for the latter of the insurance charge collected. If this amount only includes the land and sea rates, the procedure given in 2 is used for the apportionment of supplementary charges. 4. If the administration of destination and, if appropriate, the intermediate administration are to be credited with amounts per kilogram, the number of bags making up the mail as well as the gross weight of the latter should be shown. In other cases, the procedure given in 3 is used. Simplified parcel bills are drawn up in the cases laid down in Article 51, 3 of the agreement. The apportionment of land and sea rates is made entirely on the Article 122 transmission in closed mails. 1. Tackles the manner. In the normal circumstances of transmission in closed mails, the recep, bags, baskets, crates, etc. should be marked, closed, and labeled in. Laid down for letter bags in Article 156, 4, 5, 10, 12, and 13 of the detailed regulations of the Convention, subject to the following special provisions. Are yellow ochre in color, their layout, and their text. Annex specimen CP23 and CP24. Bags, some other special methods of closing. A. Labels should conform to the B for receptacles other than may be adopted provided that the contents are sufficiently protected. C. The labels or addresses of closed receptacles which contain air. Parcels must bear the indication or label par avion by airmail. D. The labels or addresses of closed receptacles which contain urgent parcels must bear an urgent label or indication. 2. Of any agreement to the contrary, the receptacle should bear a serial number. The outward office of exchange enters on the parcel bill the number, and if the administration of destination so requires, the serial numbers of the receptacles comprising the mail. In the absence. 3. The following are dispatched in separate receptacles. A. Insured parcels, if their number justifies it. The receptacles which include such parcels, whether alone or together with uninsured parcels, must be marked with the letter V, B, fragile parcels. The receptacles concerned are then provided with the label referred to in Article 110, 5, C parcels containing the substances referred to in Article 105. 1 and G. The receptacles concerned are provided with a special label bearing in bold letters an appropriate indication, for example, celluloid. D. Express parcels. If their number justifies it, the receptacles which contain entirely or partly such parcels must bear the label or the indication express. 4. Cumbersome parcels, fragile parcels, or those whose nature necessitates it need not be sent in receptacles. In order to determine the mail of which they are part, such parcels must be provided with a label CP23. Labels of insured parcels not sent in a receptacle must be furnished with the letter V. However, parcels using the C route should be dispatched in bags. 5. As a general rule, bags not weigh more than 40 kilograms, and other receptacles containing parcels should. 6. The parcel bill, accompanied by the documents referred to in Article 123, should be inserted by the outward office of exchange in one of the receptacles comprising the mail. Where appropriate in one of those containing insured parcels or express parcels, if the number of accompanying documents justifies it, the parcel bill may be inserted in a special bag. In all cases, the label of the receptacle containing the parcel bill must bear the indication F. After special agreement between the administrations concerned, the label may also include the indication of the number of bags making up the dispatch and, if necessary, the number of parcels sent a découvert. The administrations of origin and of destination may agree between themselves that the accompanying documents should be inserted in the receptacle containing the corresponding parcels. The accompanying documents concerning express parcels must be placed in the bundle in front of the other documents. 7. The special parcel bill, CP12 mentioned in Article 120, 7 is sent UN enclosed or in any other way agreed between the administrations concerned, accompanied, where appropriate, by the documents required by the intermediate countries. Article 123, transfer of mails of any agreement to the contrary between administrations concerned. The transfer of surface parcel mails is carried out by means of OFA Delivery Bill C18 referred to in Article 157 of the detailed regulations of the Convention. 2. The mails should be handed over in a good condition. However, a mail may not be refused because of damage or theft. When a mail is received in a bad condition by an intermediate office, it must be put in new packing just as it is. The office which does the repacking must enter the indications from the original label on the new label and affix to it an impression of its date stamp, preceded by the indication Rembal A. Repacked at. 3. Air parcel mails to be handed over at an airport are accompanied by forms AV7 under the conditions laid down in Article 192 of the detailed regulations of the Convention. 1. In the absence of the admini. Article 124. Treatment of parcels with advice of embarkation. 1. If a parcel accompanied by an advice of embarkation is included in a closed mail sent in transit through the port of embarkation concerned, the outward office of exchange of the mail withdraws the advice of embarkation associated with the documents accompanying the parcel and attaches it to the relative parcel bill CP12 referred to in Article 127. After making the necessary notes on it, the allocation of the portion of the charge due to the country of embarkation is effected by means of this parcel bill, which is completed under the heading Nombre devi, embarkment, number of advices of embarkation. 2. Every office of exchange which undertakes the embarkation, either of a parcel with an advice of embarkation received a découvert, or of a closed mail in transit containing such parcel, fills up the form CP6 appropriately and sends it directly to the sender. Check of mails and Section 3. Parcels, return of empty receptacles. Article 125. Check of mails by offices of exchange. 1. Every office of exchange receiving a mail immediately checks the receptacles and their fastening, and then checks the parcels and the various documents which accompany them. These checks are made in the presence of the other interested parties whenever this is possible. When an intermediate office has to repack a mail, it checks the contents of this mail if it thinks that the latter has not remained intact. It draws up a verification note in the form of the annexed specimen CP13. This note is sent to the office of exchange from which the mail was received. One copy of it is sent to the office of origin, and another is inserted in the repacked mail. However, intermediate offices of exchange are not bound to check the documents accompanying the parcel bill. 2. When the receptacles are opened, the constituent parts of the fastening string, laid seal, label should be kept together. To achieve this, the string is cut in one place only. 3. If the office of exchange or destination discovers errors or omissions in the parcel bill, it immediately makes the necessary corrections taking care to cross out the incorrect entries in such a way as to leave the original entries legible. These corrections are made in the presence of two officials. Unless there is an obvious error, the corrections are accepted in preference to the original statement. The office of exchange also carries out the routine checks when the receptacle or its fastening give grounds for presuming that the contents have not remained intact or that some other irregularity has occurred. The irregularities which have been established, as well as the loss of a mail or one or more of the bags comprising it, or the loss of the parcel bill, are notified without delay to the outward office of exchange by a verification note, CP13, prepared in duplicate. In each event of the parcel bill being missing, the inward office should, in addition, prepare a fresh parcel bill or make a precise note of the parcels received, serial number of the parcels, offices of origin and destination, weight, insured value, etc. When the inward office of exchange has not sent off a note CP13 by the first dispatch, which it is possible to house, it is regarded, until the contrary is proved, as having received the bags or parcels in good condition. 4. The offices to which the verification notes CP13 are sent return them as promptly as possible after having examined them and indicated thereon their observations, if any, retain the copies. The return verification notes are attached to the parcel bills to which they relate. Corrections made to a parcel bill unsupported by documentary evidence are not considered as valid. However, if these verification notes are not returned to the office of exchange, which issued them within a period of 2 months from the date of the dispatch, they are regarded, until the contrary is proved, as duly accepted by the offices to which they were sent. This period is extended to 4 months in the service with distant countries. 5. The discovery, at the time of the check, of any irregularities whatsoever may in no case be the cause of the return of a parcel to origin, except as provided for in Article 26, 3 and 4 of the agreement. Verification notes and their duplicates are sent under register covered by the most rapid means, air or surface. Article 126. Discrepancies of weight, volume, or size of parcels. 1. Unless there is an obvious error, the view of the office of origin shall prevail as regards the establishment of the weight, volume, or size. However, if the differences in weight which are established entail a change in rates, the new weight is valid. 2. As regards ordinary parcels, discrepancies in weight within the same weight step may not be made the subject of verification notes or the cause of the parcels being returned. Verification notes are to be prepared only where the discrepancy would involve an alteration of the shares of the charges. 3. As regards insured parcels, discrepancies of weight up to 10 grams above or below the weight stated may not be queried by the intermediate administration or administration of destination unless the external condition of the parcel makes it necessary. Article 127. Notification of irregularities involving the responsibility of administrations. 1. Any office of exchange which, on the arrival of a mail, discovers the absence of theft from or damage to one or more parcels proceeds as follows. A. Unless this is impossible for a stated reason, or unless the receptacle, together with the string, the lead or other seal and a label has been attached to the original report, CP14 provided for in Article 128, 2. It attaches these objects to the verification note CP13 addressed to the outward office of exchange. However, if the verification note is sent by air, it may send these articles accompanied by a copy of the verification note by separate registered surface mail. B. It sends a duplicate of the verification note to the last intermediate office of exchange, if any, at the same time as to the outward office of exchange. 2. If it considers it necessary, the inward office of exchange may, at the expense of its administration, inform the outward office of exchange of its discoveries by telegraph. 3. Where offices of exchange and direct contact are concerned, the respective administrations of these offices may agree on the method of procedure in the case of irregularities involving their responsibility. Article 128. Receipt by the Office of Exchange of a damaged or insufficiently packed parcel. 1. Any office of exchange which receives from a corresponding office a damaged or insufficiently packed parcel must send it on, after having repacked it if necessary, preserving as far as possible the original packing, the address, and the labels. The weight of the parcel before and after repacking must be indicated on the actual packing of the parcel. This indication is followed by the note Rembal A, repacked at, stamped with an impression of the date stamp and signed by the officials who did the repacking. 2. If the condition of the parcel is such that the contents could have been withdrawn or damaged, or if the parcel shows a discrepancy in weight such as to suggest the withdrawal of the whole or part of the contents, the Office of Exchange, without prejudice to the application of the provisions of Article 127, 1 and of 1 above, should open it of its own accord and check the contents. The result of this check should be made the subject of a formal report in the form of the annex specimen CP14. A copy of the report is attached to the item. 3. If the parcel referred to in 2 is an insured parcel, the following additional steps are taken. A. The original formal report is sent under registered cover to the central administration of the country controlling the outward office of exchange or to an authority appointed by that administration. B. A duplicate of the report is sent at the same time, either to the central administration controlling the inward office of exchange or to any other controlling authority appointed by that administration. C. Unless this is impossible for a stated reason, the receptacle in which the parcels were contained, the string, the lead or other seal, and the label are attached to the original report. Article 129. Check of mails of parcels forwarded in bulk. 1. The provisions of Articles 125 to 128 are applicable only to parcels of which the contents have been stolen and damaged, as well as to parcels entered individually on the parcel bills. The other items are simply checked in bulk. 2. The administration of origin may agree with the administration of destination and, if appropriate, with the intermediate administrations to limit to certain categories of parcels the detailed check and the preparation of verification notes, CP13, and formal reports, CP14 mentioned in Articles 125 to 128. 3. When an office of exchange establishes a discrepancy between the number of parcels given on the parcel bill and the number of parcels found in the mail, the verification note, CP13 is prepared only to correct the total number of parcels and the amounts of the shares of the charges. Article 130. Reforwarding of a parcel arriving out of course. 1. Any parcel arriving out of course as a result of an error on the part of the sender or the dispatching administration must be treated according to Article 37 of the agreement. 2. The reforwarding administration reports the matter to the administration from which the parcel has been received by a verification note. CP 13. 3. The reforwarding administration treats the parcel arriving out of course as if it had arrived in transit at découvert. If the rates which have been allocated to it are insufficient to cover the cost of reforwarding which it has to defray, the reforwarding administration credits the true administration of destination and, where appropriate, the intermediate administrations taking part in the reforwarding of the parcel with the relative conveyance rates. It then recoups itself by a claim on the administration responsible for the Office of Exchange which sent the parcel for the amount of the expense which it has incurred. The claim and its cause AIE notified to that office by means OFA verification note. Article 131. Return of empty receptacles. Receptacles should, in principle, be returned empty to the administration 1, to which they belong by the next outlet, and, unless this is impossible, by the route followed on the outward journey. Nevertheless, the receptacles of air parcel mails may be returned by surface. 2. Administrations may agree between themselves for the administrations of destination to return the bags to origin using them for the dispatch of parcels. 3. Empty bags are always returned free of charge. 4. An administration returning receptacles must indicate on the parcel bills the number and, where appropriate, the serial numbers of the returned receptacles. 5. For the rest, the provisions of Article 164, 2 to 5 of the detailed regulations of the Convention apply. Chapter 4th. Treatment of parcels by the Office of Destination. Section 1. Delivery of parcels. Article 132. Reservations on delivery. When the addressee, or in a case of return, the sender makes reservations in taking delivery of the parcel, a formal report CP14 of the joint examination is immediately made out by the office which effects delivery. This report, prepared in duplicate and countersigned whenever possible by the addressee, should indicate the external condition of the parcel, the gross weight, and a precise list of the contents. One copy is handed to the addressee, the other is dealt with in accordance with the regulations of the administration which prepared the report. Article 133. Treatment of franking notes after delivery of the parcel for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges. 1. After delivery to the addressee of a parcel for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges, the office which has advance charges of any kind on behalf of the sender completes, so far as it is concerned, with the use of carbon paper, the details appearing on the back of parts A and B of the franking note, which is drawn up officially by the Office of Destination when the request for delivery free of postal and non-postal charges has been made after the posting of the parcel. This office sends Part A, accompanied by the supporting vouchers, to the Office of Origin. This transmission is effected in a closed envelope without indication of the contents. Part B is retained by the administration of Destination for accounting with the debtor administration. 2. Each administration may appoint certain offices specially charged to return Part A of the franking notes on which charges have been raised or to receive Part A of the franking notes returned after delivery of the parcel. The name of the office to which Part A is to be returned is entered in every case on the front of this part by the Office of Origin of the parcel. When a parcel bearing the indication frank the taxes it adroits free of postal and non-postal charges arrives without a franking note, the office responsible for customs clearance prepares a duplicate note. On parts A and B of this note, it shows the name of the country of origin and, as nearly as possible, the date of posting of the parcel. When the franking note is lost after delivery of the parcel, a duplicate is prepared under the same conditions. 4. Parts A and B of the franking notes relating to items which for any reason are returned to origin should be cancelled through the good offices of the administration of destination and attached to the dispatch note. 5. On receipt of Part A of a franking note showing the charges paid out by the administration of destination, the administration of origin converts the amount into its own currency. at a rate which should not be higher than the rate fixed for the issue of postal money orders on the country concerned. The result of the conversion is shown in the body of the form and on the coupon at the side. After recovering the amount of the charges, the office appointed for that purpose hands to the sender the coupon from the note and any supporting vouchers. Article 134 of Advices of Delivery after Delivery of Parcels. With Advices of Delivery, treatment. 1. Immediately the parcel has been delivered, the Office of Destination returns the Form C5, duly filled up, to the sender by ordinary mail, or, if the sender has paid the relative charges, by the first air mail, a découvert and free of postal charges. 2. If the Form C5 does not reach the Office of Destination, that office makes out a new copy as a matter of course. Section Second Treatment of Undelivered Parcels. Article 135, Advice of Non-Delivery. 1. An advice of non-delivery in the form of the Annex Specimen CP9 is sent under registered cover by airmail if the sender has requested it, to the administration of origin after having been duly completed. A. By the administration of destination. I. In event of non-delivery, for every parcel of which the sender has asked to be advised of non-delivery. For every parcel officially retained or lying undelivered because of theft or damage or for some other cause of the same kind. However, this procedure is not compulsory in cases of circumstances beyond control or when the number of parcels retained officially is such that the sending of an advice is materially impossible. B. By the intermediate administration concerned for every parcel. Officially retained in course of transmission, either by the Postal Service accidental interruption of traffic or by the Customs control subject to the reservation made under A2. 2. The advice of non-delivery is accompanied by the dispatch note except when the advice is sent to a third party in accordance with the provisions of Article 27. 2 billions of the agreement. In the circumstances referred to in 1A, T, and B of this article, the advice must bear in conspicuous letters the indication "Cullis retenunt office parcel retained officially." 3. When several parcels are concerned, which were posted at the same time by the same sender and addressed to the same addressee, it is permissible to send only one advice of non-delivery. Even if these parcels were accompanied by several dispatch notes, in such a case, all these notes are attached to the advice of non-delivery. 4. As a general rule, advices of non-delivery are exchanged between the Office of Destination and the Office of Origin. However, any administration may request that the advices concerning its service be sent to its central administration or to a specially appointed office. The name of that office must be notified to administrations through the intermediary of the International Bureau. The administration of origin is responsible for advising the sender. The exchange of advices of non-delivery should be speeded up as much as possible by all the offices concerned. Article 136. Non-delivery. New instructions by the person concerned. 1. The advice of non-delivery should be returned to the office which prepared it. Completed with fresh instructions from the sender or the third party and, accompanied, if appropriate, by the dispatch note, it is returned by air if the person concerned pays the corresponding air surcharge. New instructions are sent by telegraph when the telegraphic charge is paid. 2. The only fresh instructions which the sender or the third party referred to in Article 27, 2 billions of the agreement is authorized to give, being listed in Article 32, 1 of the agreement. The following rules should apply in the under-mentioned special cases. A. If the sender or third party requests that a cash-on-delivery parcel be delivered against payment of a sum less than the original sum, a new form. R4 must be prepared in accordance with the provisions of Article 106 of the detailed regulations of the agreement concerning cash-on-delivery items. B. If the sender or the third party gives as his instructions that the parcel is to be delivered free of postal and non-postal charges, either to the original addressee or to another addressee, the office concerned applies Article 111. 3. When a parcel which has been the subject of an advice of non-delivery is delivered or redirected before the receipt of fresh instructions, the sender must be so informed through the intermediary of the Office of Origin. If the advice has been sent to a third party appointed by the sender, this information must be communicated to that third party. If a cash-on-delivery parcel is concerned, and if the money order form R4, referred to in Article 105, one of the detailed regulations of the agreement concerning cash-on-delivery items, has already been sent to the sender, the latter need not be advised. Article 137. Return of parcels to origin. 1. An office which returns a parcel for any reason whatsoever indicates, either in manuscript or by means of a stamped impression or a label on the parcel and on the dispatch note which accompanies it, the reason for non-delivery. The indication must be made in French, each administration having the option of adding a translation in its own language and any other appropriate particulars. This indication must be made in a clear and concise form, such as inconu, not known, refuse, refused, and voyage traveling, party, gone away, non-reclaim, unclaimed, decede, deceased, etc. 2. Unless the sender asks for the return of a parcel to origin by air, this return is affected by the route used for the outward journey as regards surface parcels and by the quickest surface route in the case of air parcels, unless it is impossible to do so. 3. Parcels are redirected in their original packing. They are accompanied by the dispatch note prepared by the sender. If for any reason a parcel has to be repacked or the original dispatch note replaced by another note, it is essential that the name of the office of origin of the parcel, the original serial number, and, as nearly as possible, the date of posting appear on the new packing and on the dispatch note. If the redirection of an air parcel is affected by surface, the par avion by airmail label and any notes relating to transmission by air should be struck through as a matter of course by means of 2 thick horizontal lines. 5. Every parcel returned to origin is entered on the parcel bill with the note Retour à l'origine, return to origin, in the column headed Observations. 6. The allocation and claim for postal and non-postal charges raised on the parcel by application of Articles 33.3, 38.1, and 42 of the agreement are made as mentioned in Article 148. They must be indicated in detail on a statement of charges, in the form of the annexed specimen CP25, which is affixed at one edge to the dispatch note. Article 138. Redirection of a parcel in consequence of the change of address of the addressee. 1. When the sums mentioned in Article 36, 6 of the agreement are paid at the time of redirection, the parcel is dealt with as if it had originated in the redirecting country and been addressed to the country of the new destination. No conveyance charge is collected by the administration of that country at the time of delivery. 2. Article 137, 3-6 is applicable to redirected parcels. In particular, the indication re-expedite redirected must appear on the parcel bill in the column Observations in regard to the inscription of the parcel. Article 139. Express parcel to be redirected. If on express parcel to be redirected has been the subject of an unsuccessful attempt at delivery to the place of address by special messenger, the redirecting office should strike through the label or the indication express by 2 thick horizontal lines. Article 140. Treatment of requests for withdrawal from the post or for change of address. 1. On receipt of the request for withdrawal from the post or for change of address in accordance with Article 113. The Office of Destination searches for the parcel in question and complies with the request. 2. When it receives the telegraphic request referred to in Article 113, 2. The Office of Destination holds the parcel and does not comply with the request until the receipt of the postal confirmation. Nevertheless, the Administration of Destination may, on its own responsibility, give effect to the telegraphic request without awaiting this confirmation. Article 141 Sale. Destruction. 1. When a parcel has been sold or destroyed in accordance with the provisions of Article 41 of the agreement, a formal report of the sale or destruction is drawn up. A copy of the report accompanied by the dispatch note is sent to the Office of Origin. The same applies if the parcel is sold at the request of the sender. 2. The proceeds of the sale serve in the first instance to defray the charges on the parcel. The balance, if any, is sent to the Office of Origin to be handed to the sender. The latter bears the cost of forwarding it. Chapter 5. Inquiries. Requests for information. Article 142 Inquiries. Requests for information. 1. Every inquiry as well as every request for information about a parcel is dealt with according to the provisions of Article 150, 1 to 9 of the detailed regulations of the Convention, subject to the following. A. The Form R3 used for the letter post is replaced by the Form R4, referred to in Article 105, one of the detailed regulations of the agreement concerning cash on delivery items. B. Every intermediate administration which forwards a Form C9 relating to a parcel to the next administration is responsible for informing the administration of origin of the fact by means of a Form CP10 in the form of the annexed specimen. 2. Every Form C9 concerning an inquiry or a request for information relating to a parcel received by an administration other than the administration of origin is forwarded to the latter accompanied, where appropriate, by the certificate of posting. It should reach the administration of origin within the periods prescribed in Article 43 of the agreement. Article 143. Inquiries concerning an advice of delivery or an advice of embarkation not received. 1. When the sender inquires about an advice of delivery which he has not received within a reasonable time. The procedure follows that outlined in Article 112, however, the advice of delivery charge is not collected a second time. The Office of Origin enters at the head of the Form C5 the indication duplicata de l'avis de réception, duplicate of the advice of delivery. 2. Any inquiry by the sender concerning an advice of embarkation not received within a reasonable time gives rise to the preparation of an inquiry Form C2, referred to in Article 142, 1 billion, and exempt from any charges. This form, accompanied by a duplicate advice of embarkation CP6, on which the Office of Origin enters the word duplicata, duplicate, is dealt with in accordance with the provisions of Article 142. The advice of embarkation charge is not collected a second time. Chapter 6. Accounting. Section on allocation of charges. Article 144. Charges credited to other administrations by the Administration of Origin. 1. Credits. A. The Administration of Destination with I. The land and sea rates which are due to it as regards parcels. Admitted by virtue of the provisions of Article 25, 5 of the agreement, the land and sea rates for the weight steps corresponding to their volume, including the exceptional rates authorized by the present agreement or by the final protocol annexed thereto. T. The sums due to the Administration of Destination out of the supplementary charges authorized in Article 17 of the agreement, those shares due to the Administration of Destination of charges, principal charge, and, where appropriate, exceptional outward and inward rates and supplementary charges included in the sums to be collected for urgent parcels. IV. The express charge. V. Its share of the insurance fee. B. Each intermediate administration with I. Its land and sea rates as regards parcels admitted by virtue of the provisions of Article 25, 5 of the agreement, the land and sea rates for the weight steps corresponding to their volume, including the exceptional transit rates authorized by the final protocol. Its share of those supplementary charges authorized in Article 17. Of the agreement, T. Its shares of the charges, principal charge, and supplementary charges included in the sums to be collected for urgent parcels. IV. Its share of the insurance fees. 2. In the case of exchange in transit, a découvert, the administration of origin credits. A. The administration of destination of the mail, with its rates and charges enumerated in 1 billion, as well as rates and charges due to the subsequent intermediate administrations and to the administration of destination. E. Administration of destination of the mail, with the air conveyance, charge to which it is entitled on account of the reforwarding of air parcels. C. The intermediate administration preceding the administration of destination of the mail, with its rates and charges enumerated in 1 billion. In the case of exchange of closed mails, the administration of origin. 3. When Article 51, 2 of the agreement has been applied, the administration of origin credits the administration of destination and any intermediate administrations with sums calculated for each parcel or kilogram of gross weight of the mails instead of with the rates or charges mentioned in 1A and B. Article 145, allocation of insurance charge. 1. The administration of destination and, where appropriate, the intermediate administrations receive from the administration of origin a share of the insurance charge fixed for each 200 francs or fraction of 200 francs of insured value at 5 centimes for land conveyance, 10 centimes for sea conveyance. This share is paid to every administration whose services take part in the conveyance, and, if necessary, as regards sea conveyance, for each service used. 2. The administration of origin credits the administration of destination, which provides air conveyance within the territory of its country, and, where appropriate, each intermediate administration which takes part in the air conveyance beyond the frontiers of its country, for insured air parcels, except in the case of services involving extraordinary risks, with a share of the air insurance charge equal to 10 gold centimes for each 200 francs or fraction of 200 francs of insured value. Article 146. Charges retained by the collecting administration. The following are retained in their entirety by the administration, called the collecting administration, which has collected them. A. The following charges provided for. I. In Article 15 of the agreement, charge for delivery free of charge. Charge for request for delivery free of charges. In Article 18 of the agreement, charge for customs formalities on exportation, customs clearance charge, delivery charge, advice of non-delivery charge, advice of arrival charge, post restante charge, storage charge, advice of delivery charge, inquiry charge, charge for cover against risks arising out of circumstances beyond control. B. The charges or surcharges collected under the combined provisions of Article 42 of the agreement and Article 26 of the convention for every request for the withdrawal of a parcel from the post or for alteration of address. C. The dispatch charge collected under the provisions of Article 16, 2. B. Of the agreement. 1967 Nations Unies. Recreated Trades 187. Article 147. Special cases of the allocation of charges. 1. The charge for internie redirection, Article 36, 6A of the agreement, accrues to the administration in whose territory that redirection took place, even in the event of subsequent redirection out of that country or return to origin. 2. The express charge is allocated. A, to the administration of the country of the original destination when the express parcel has been redirected out of that country, if delivery by special messenger has been attempted, or no such attempt having been made, if the administration of the new destination does not provide delivery by special messenger. B, to the administration of the original destination, if the express parcel has been returned to origin without having been redirected. C, to the administration of the new destination, if it provides delivery by special messenger, and if the administration of the original destination has not attempted delivery by special messenger. 3. In the case of further redirection, the express charge is allocated in accordance with the principles of 2. It is thus allocated to the administration of the original destination, of the next destination, or that of the ultimate destination, as the case may be. 4. The repacking charge accrues to the administration controlling the office which did the repacking. 5. The advice of embarkation charge is halved between the administration of origin and the administration which controls the port of embarkation. Article 148. Allocation and recovery of postal and non-postal charges in the case of return to origin or redirection. 1. In the case where postal and non-postal charges have not been paid at the time of return to origin or redirection, the returning or redirecting administration proceeds as indicated below for the allocation and recovery of these postal and non-postal charges. 2. In the case of exchange of closed mail between the returning or redirect ING country and the country of origin, or of the new destination, the returning or reforwarding administration. A recovers from the administration to which the mail is addressed. I. The shares of charges due to it and to the intermediate administrations. T. The following charges provided for in Article 18 of the agreement: customs clearance charge, delivery charge, advice of arrival charge, repacking charge, post restanti charge, storage charge, additional express charge. Article 14(2) of the agreement. Due to the administration which has attempted delivery, if this charge has not been collected at the time of presentation of the parcel at the place address of the addressee. The redirection charge provided for in Article 36(6)(a) of the agreement. IV. The non-postal charges which it has incurred. Article 20 of the agreement. B. Credits the intermediate administrations with the shares of the charges due to them. 3. In the case of transmission in transit à découvert, the intermediate administration, after having been debited by the administration which returns or redirects the parcel with the amounts due to this latter administration by virtue of the shares and charges enumerated at 2A, credits itself by debiting the administration to which it hands over the parcel with the sum due to it and with that due to the returning or redirecting administration. This procedure is repeated, if need be, by each intermediate administration. 4. In the case of parcels returned to origin or redirected by airmail surcharges are recovered, where appropriate, from the administration of the countries where the request for return or redirection originated. 5. In the case of the redirection of missing parcels, the allocation and the recovery of postal and non-postal charges are made in accordance with Article 130. 3. Article 149. Special cases of recovery of charges. 1. The costs referred to in Article 35 of the agreement are recovered from the administration of origin. 2. In the air parcel service, in the event of a forced landing or a missed connection, the administrations which ensure the reforwarding of air parcels claim their air conveyance charges from the administration of origin. Article 150. Determination of average payments per parcel, or per kilogram. 1. The average payment per parcel laid down in Article 51, 3% of the agreement, is obtained by dividing either the amount of the land and sea rates or the amount of the payments of all kinds due from the administration of origin to the administration of destination, and, as appropriate, to the intermediate administrations for parcels dispatched during a period of at least 3 months, by the number of these parcels. 2. The average payment per kilogram mentioned in the same article of the agreement is obtained by dividing either the product of the land and sea rates or the product of the payments of all kinds determined in one by the gross weight of the mails dispatched to the administration of destination during the same period. 3. These average payments may be revised, A. Officially in the event of modification of the charges by applying the new charges to the basic statistical elements. B. At the request of one of the administrations concerned, made at least a year after the last revision by using new statistical factors. Section 2. Preparation and settlement of accounts. Article 151. Preparation of accounts. Administration arranges for its offices of exchange to prepare, monthly or quarterly in its relations with distant countries, for all the items received from one and the same administration, a statement in the form of the annex specimen CP15 indicating by dispatching offices the total sums entered to its credit and debit on parcel bills CPU, CP12, and CP20. In the event of alteration of these, the number and date of the verification note, CP13, prepared by the transferring office of exchange or office of exchange to which the transfer is made, are shown in the observations column of statement CP15. 2. The statements CP15 are summarized in an account in the form of the annex specimen CP16 drawn up in duplicate. 3. The account CP16, accompanied by the statement CP15, but without the parcel bills, is sent by the most rapid means, air or surface, to the administration concerned for examination during the 2 months following that to which it relates. As regards distant countries, the account is sent as soon as the last parcel bill of the month in question has arrived. Nil accounts are not prepared. In the amount of the balance of account CP16, centums are ignored. Totals should never be altered. Differences which may be discovered should be made the subject of statements in the form of the annexed specimen CP17. These statements are sent in duplicate to the administration concerned, which should incorporate the amount in its next account, CP16. No statement CP17 is drawn up when the final amount of the differences does not exceed 10 gold francs per account. 4. After they have been checked and accepted, the accounts CP16 and statement CP15 are returned to the administration, which prepared them at the latest by the end of the second month from the date of dispatch. This interval is extended to 4 months in relations with distant countries. If the administration which has sent the account does not receive any notice of amendment during these periods, the account is regarded as fully accept I. 5. The accounts CP16 are summarized in a quarterly Genil account in the form of the annex specimen CP18, prepared by the creditor administration. This account may, however, be prepared half-yearly by agreement between the administrations concerned. 6. When the balance OFA general account CP18 prepared quarterly or half-yearly does not exceed 25 francs, it is carried into the next general account CP18. If after carrying out this procedure for the whole year, the general account CP18 drawn up at the end of the year shows a balance not exceeding 25 francs, the debtor administration is exempted from all payment. 7. Accounting in respect of the sums paid out by each administration on behalf of another for parcels delivered free of postal and non-postal charges is effected on the following basis. A. The creditor administration draws up each month in the currency of its own country a detailed monthly account on a form in the form of the annexed specimen CP19. Parts B of the franking notes which have been retained are entered in alphabetical order of the offices which have advanced the charges and in the numerical order which has been given to them. 1. Each. B. The detailed account, accompanied by parts B of the franking notes, is forwarded to the debtor administration at the latest by the end of the month following that to which it relates. Nil accounts are not prepared. C. The accounts are checked under the conditions laid down by the detailed regulations of the agreement concerning postal money orders and postal traveler's checks. D. The accounts are the subject of a special settlement. Each administration may, however, request that these accounts be settled with the postal money order accounts, the parcels accounts CP16, or the accounts R5 relating to cash on delivery items without being incorporated in them. 8. When it is necessary to recover payments from the administrations responsible in accordance with the provisions of Article 49 of the agreement and several amounts are involved. These are summarized on Form CP22 in the form of the annex specimen, and the total amount is carried forward to the account CP16. Article 152 account for air parcel mails. The account for payments due on account of air conveyance for air parcel mails is drawn up according to Articles 198 to 200 and one of the detailed regulations for implementing the convention. Settlement, Article 153 of accounts. 1. The amount of the balance administration to the creditor administration of Article 13 of the convention. 2. The preparation and dispatch in duplicate of a general account must be carried out as soon as the accounts CP16 have been returned accepted. The check of the account CP18 by the debtor administration and the return of one of the two copies to the creditor administration must take place within 1 month after receipt of the account. When this period is passed, the account CP18 may be regarded as fully accepted. The balance should be paid as quickly as possible and, at the latest, before the end of a period of 1 month from the acceptance of the general account. 3. Any administration which each month consistently has owing to it by another administration a sum greater than 30,000 francs has the right to claim a monthly payment on account up to 3/4 of the amount of the debt. Its request must be met within a period of 2 months. Of the general accounts is paid by the debtor, in accordance with the provisions. 1967 Nations Unies, Recueil des Traces 191. Article 154 forms for the use of the public. For the purpose of applying the provisions of Article 11, 2 of the Convention on the following are considered as forms for the use of the public. CP2 Dispatch Note, CP2M Dispatch Note adapted for mechanized duplicating purposes, CP3 Customs Declaration, CP3M Customs Declaration adapted for mechanized duplicating purposes, CP4 Franking Note, CP6 Advice of Embarkation. Article 155 Period of retention of documents. 1. Documents of the parcel service, including dispatch notes, must be kept for a minimum period of 18 months from the date to which they refer. 2. Documents concerning a dispute or inquiry must be kept until the matter has been settled. If the inquiring administration, duly informed of the result of an inquiry, allows 6 months to elapse from the date of the communications without raising any objections, the matter is regarded as settled. Chapter 8. Final provisions. Article 156. Entry into force and duration of the detailed regulations. 1. The present detailed regulations shall come into force on the day on which the agreement concerning postal parcels comes into operation. 2. They shall have the same duration as that agreement, unless renewed by common consent between the contracting parties. Done at Vienna, the July 10th, 1964. Signatures. The same is for the agreement, see above in this volume. Final protocol to the detailed regulations for implementing the agreement concerning postal parcels. At the moment of proceeding to sign the detailed regulations for implementing the agreement concerning postal parcels concluded this day, the undersigned in the name of their respective postal administrations have agreed the following. Article 1. Maximum weight of parcel bags. Notwithstanding Article, the Commonwealth of Australia, Ceylon, Cyprus, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, those of the overseas territories for whose international relations the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland are responsible, whose internal regulations do not permit them to comply. The Irish Republic, Jamaica, Malaysia, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, New Zealand, Uganda, Sierra Leone, and the United Republic of Tanganyika, and Zanzibar and Trinidad and Tobago have the right not to accept parcel bags, which weigh more than 36 kilograms. In faith whereof the undersigned have drawn up the present protocol, which will have the same force as if its provisions were included in the text of the detailed regulations to which it relates. Done at Vienna, the July 10th, 1964. Signatures. The same as for the agreement, see above in this volume. 1967 Nations Unies, Recueil des Traces 193. List of forms. No. 1. Title or nature of the form. 2. References. 3. CP1, CP2, CP2 millions. CP3, CP3 millions. CP4, CP6, CP7, CP8, CP9, CP10, CPU, CP12. CP13, CP14. And greater than is. CP16, CP17. 10, CP19, CP20, CP21, CP22. CP23, CP24, CP25. Table dispatch note adapted for mechanized duplicating. Purposes Customs Declaration adapted for mechanized duplicate. E-ing purposes. Advice of embarkation via label for insured parcel combined with the number of the parcel and the name of the office of origin. Parcel label with the number of the parcel and name of the office of origin. Advice of reforwarding OFA Form C9. Special parcel bill for the payment of rates due for the verification note report concerning the theft, damage, or decrease in weight of a postal parcel month. 22. 1A art. 122. 1A art. 137. 6. CP1. Postal Administration of. Indicating the conditions on which as addressed to countries. 4th. Weight steps greater than country of destination. Limit of insured value. No. Route 1234. KG FAR. Table CP1, which it is in a position to serve as an intermediary. Rates and fee to the credit of rates the administration of. Analysis of the emoluments in column 6 countries and C services. Rates and SIR to which they accord ANS fee 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 are due ing to for each kg weight 200 FR CFR EFR accepts your declarations customs number OFI. Observa sans 11 coupon number S of parcel SIS space reserved for labels CP7 and CP8. Dispatch note may be detached by addressee country of origin. Stamp of the office of origin. Parcels. Vienna 1964. Art 106 1A size 210 X 148 Name and address of the sender. Custom stamp, CP2. Application of postage stamps or indication of postage paid. Gold francs is in Arabic figures. Insured value to be written in full in words and Roman letters in Arabic figures. Parcel S, customs declaration, certificates or invoices. Description of packing 5. 2. Amount of COD payment to be written in full in Roman letters in Arabic figures. To be carried to the credit of current postal account. No. Of, at, address, of, addressee. COD, payment. Number of, held by the check office of. Name of addressee. Street and number. 1967. Nations Unies. Recueil des Traces. The option of affixing postage stamps to the note itself or on the coupon has been maintained. Congress Documents of London, 1929. Tome 2, page 422. Place of destination. Country of destination. Weight customs duty 3 route to be followed. KG. Route. Office of exchange. 1. Packet, case, carton, basket, bag, etc. 2. If the sender does not wish the parcel to be redirected, he should indicate it here and on the parcel. 3. To be filled in by the Office of Entry or by the Customs Service of the country of destination. 195. CP. 2. Front. Instructions to be given by the sender. Space below and on the parcel. The manner in which the latter should be treated in case of non-delivery. Only. Following instructions is allowed. It should be given by inserting a cross in the box alongside the appropriate instruction and, where necessary, by completing the printed text. Parcels for which the sender has not been given instructions are returned without advice. In such a case, and also off instructions C, D, E, and apply. The sender is obliged to pay the charges demanded for its new transmission, as well as the other charges made by the administrations concerned. If the delivery of the parcel described on the front of this note cannot be effected, I request DD that an advice of non-delivery be sent home by 2 to face. The sender should indicate, in the one of the LE, that the advice of non-delivery be addressed by 2 Yalis thanks VTOC 1. C, that the parcel be returned to origin forthwith by 2 less than JF, E greater than, CJD, that the parcel be returned to origin by 2, ACE VAT the end of a period of days. She, that the parcel be delivered or redirected by 2, surface to 3. LJ, that the parcel be redirected by 2 less than I, 306 greater than with a view to delivering it to the original addressee, JGE, that the parcel be sold at my entire risk, signature of sender. JH, that the parcel be treated as abandoned. Receipt of addressee parcels is described on the front of this note. The undersigned declares having received this signature. 1. Indicate the name and address of a third person in the country of destination. 2. Strike out whichever entry does not apply. 3. Indicate the name and address of the new addressee and mention, where appropriate, if the parcel should be delivered without collection of the trade charge or against payment of a sum less than the original sum. Country of dispatch note origin. W core I and N versus 1 Celsius. From name and address of the sender. Number of space reserved parcels for labels CP7 and CP8. Stamps CP 2 millions. To name and address of addressee. Route to followed donut forward. C office of exchange reverse. Insured value words figures ins. Value gold FRS. Amount off-card payment words of figures. Current postal account number check office custom stamp of the office of origin. Rightful holder of the current postal account. Customs duty J. Number of parcel certificates and invoices customs declarations. Description of packing P weight gross KGG 1. Packet case carton etc. Instructions to be given by the sender. If the sender does not wish this parcel to be redirected, he should indicate this by inserting a cross in the box provided for this purpose on the front of this form and by a note on the parcel. The sender should indicate, in the space below and on the parcel, the manner in which the latter should be treated in case of non-delivery. Parcels for which the sender has not given instructions are returned without advice. In such a case, and also if instructions C, D, E, and F below apply, the sender is obliged to pay the charges demanded for each new transmission, as well as the other charges made by the administrations concerned. If the delivery of the parcel described on the front of this note cannot be effected, I request surface, air. A, that an advice of non-delivery be sent to me by 2. B, that the advice of non-delivery be addressed by 2 surface layer to 4. C, that the parcel be returned to origin forthwith by 2 surface. D, that the parcel be returned to origin by 2. E, that the parcel be delivered or redirected by 2. Air at the end of a period of days. Air surface to 3. That the parcel be redirected by 2 surface with a view to delivering it to the original addressee. J, that the parcel be sold at my entire risk. H, that the parcel be treated as abandoned. Receipt of addressee. The undersigned declares having received the parcel SIS described on the front of this note. The 19 signature of sender. Signature 198 United Nations. Treaty. Series 1967 CP. 2 millions back. 1. Indicate the name and address of a third person in the country of destination. 2. Strike out whichever entry does not apply. 3. Indicate the name and address of the new addressee and mention, where appropriate, if the parcel should be delivered without collection of the trade charge or against payment of a sum less than the original sum. Postal administration. Of. Place of posting customs declaration place of destination. Number 1. Parcel. Description I. 2. Detailed description of contents. See reverse. 3. Value with precise indication of the monetary unit used. 4. Weight gross net. Grams 5 6 grams. Observations. 7. County of origin or manufacturer of the goods. 1. Packet, case, carton, basket, bag, GIS. G. 1. It 3 less than. THP. 19 sample par, etc. Place of destination. Name of a street. 7 CP3 back. Note, the customs authorities abroad if the customs declaration C overleaf does not give sufficient information. The above authorities may open the item or ask the addressee for further details. To avoid any delay and inconvenience, describe each part of the contents in an accurate manner. General descriptions such as constables, foodstuffs, vêtements, clothing, or cadeau gift are not sufficient. A false or incomplete declaration may lead to the seizure of the item or to the imposition of penalties. Exactly what your item contains. Must know. Country of origin. From name and address of sender, customs declaration, where appropriate, sender's reference number, CP3M. To name and address of addressee, the sender must certify the correct destination of P. Cell. Fee for delivery free of charges. Customs duty, customs clearance charge, other charges or fees, total. Coupon. The sender. Stamp. Oof. Of. Office. Parcel. Of origin. No. W8.kg. Insured for FR. Posted AT. Address TTO at. Has paid the charges indicated overleaf. Part B part to be filled in by the administration of destination. Total of charges. Advanced. In Arabic figures. In the currency of the country of destination of. The parcel. Date of register office. The number. Which advances Medita. Advance. I. Stamp of office. Which has advanced the O charge. Signature of the official. Part of CP4. Administration. From. Origin postal stamp of office of franking note. KG. Insured for FR dot. Dispatched HV. ATA street and number. Place of destination. Country of destination. Fee. Customs clearance charge. Pay these charges. Country of destination. 204. Front. Postal administration. Of. Part to be filled up by the office of origin. Of the parcel. Parcel number. On postal service. Advice of embarkation part to be filled up by the sender of the parcel, who will indicate his address below for the return of this advice. CP6. Stamp of office returning the advice. Insured for. Posted at the office of. Addressed to. On TE at. 19. The sender wishes to know when and by which ship this parcel was loaded at. 1. Place of destination. Country of destination. Weight customs duty 3 route to be followed. KG. KGG. Route. Office of exchange. 1. Describe exactly the port or the country of embarkation, name or firm, street and number, at locality, country, parcels, Vienna, 1964, art, 110, 12.6 size, 148x, 105 millimeters back. The parcel described overleaf was included in dispatch number of 4, sent on Tatat, 19, stamp of the dispatching, Office of Exchange. Stamp of the Office of Exchange at the port of embarkation. The parcel described overleaf included in the dispatch mentioned above was loaded at on the ship. Sailing on the October 19, 1960, Seven Nations Unis, Requiescat Straits, 205 CP 7475 Amsterdam 1, Volt 475 Amsterdam 1. Parcels, Vienna 1964, art, 108C, size 52 x 37 millimeters. Color red, CP 8, 475, Geneva 1, 475, Geneva 1. Parcels, Vienna 1964, art, 107, 1A, size 52 times 37 millimeters. Postal Administration of Office of Front, CP 9. Advice of non-delivery. One form is sufficient for several parcels posted at the same time by the same sender to the same address. The parcels is associated with the attached dispatch notes no. Originating at has.is are held undelivered in my office for the following reason. A. The parcels 3 been refused by the addressee have. Has. B. The parcels 3 have not been claimed. C. 2. F. 148 millimeters. CP9 back. Reply. The parcel should be A. Presented once more to the original addressee. Delivered to number redirected original addressee or another person street. App without collection of the charge. Against payment of reduced rate charge. 2. Delivered redirected to. No. 0. Original addressee or another person. App without collection of the charges. Liable 3 is 3JQ. D. Return immediately to the origin by force of sender undertakes to pay. The transport and other charges. He sold at the entire risk of the sender. Treated as abandoned. The person concerned having failed to reply to the request for instructions which have been addressed to him. The parcel should be returned to the office of origin at the expiry of the prescribed period. Office stamp. Signature. PI reply by underlining and, where necessary, by completing the printed text. In this case, the office of origin will attach to the reply a new cash on delivery money order issued in accordance with Article E of the agreement concerning cash on delivery items. In this case, the office of origin will attach to the reply 100. Addressed. Amount of trade. 1967. 67. CPU observations amount of 110. Exchange and word office the office the Abinisti. Charges due Endrits. Destination Yatuf. Charge traded 11 minute 11. MIH MMI I3JJ Ion. Thebe dispatching receiving weight 3 off administration ministra. Receiving despat value the parcelto. OFFITHEIN WARD 1 OF official exchange. Number. Origin ELF. Parcels. 234. I il li 1 I in I il mi I2G. I3, I minimum, less than, I 1, I H, I O, and R4, cell CCZ, and C octar, Air 4, word to 2. 1964. Art. 121, size, 210x, 297 millimeters. Several includes dispatch filled bef2 P2, be not if parcels, addressed fileto par 4 column USDs, enter if this necessary, may. Dispatching Administration, CP12, Administration of Transit, serial number of the dispatch. Stamp off the dispatching office, off exchange special parcel bill. For the payment of rates due for the transit of. Parcel sent to the office of. Indicate the name of the office of destination of the mail. By the intermediary of the office of exchange at departure. Dates which have ratified, approved A or exceeded A2 the agreement indicating the date of deposit of the instrument with the government of Switzerland, or denoted by an asterisk, the date of notification of accession issued by the latter government under Article 11.5 of the Constitution. Argentina T. June 23, 1967, Australia. 1960, including the territories of Papua, Norfolk Island, Cocos, Keeling Islands, and Christmas Island, the territory of Heard Island and McDonald Island, the AEA Australian Antarctic Territory, and the Trust Territories of declarations and reservations made upon ratification, approval, or accession. Barbados. The government of Barbados wishes the following reservations made applicable to Barbados. These reservations were applicable to Barbados as a member of the British Ensemble. Article 2, Article 5, Fee Table 1, Serial Number 29, Article V, Table 2, Serial Number 15A. Subject, delivery fee of postal and non-postal charges requested. After the posting of a parcel, outward and inward rates. Transit land rates. Article 6, Article 7. 6, C rates, supplementary rates, Article She. B, Article 12. 2, Article 12, Article X14. Subject, weight of parcels, maximum bags.